Welcome to Quiet Lives. Before we drift into tonight's journey, if you find sanctuary here, please consider subscribing to join our community of rest. I would love to know which corner of the world you are finding peace in tonight, and what hour it is where you are. Feel free to share your story in the comments below. Now, let's begin. The faint, sweet scent of fresh lacquer hangs gently in the air as you step into your private workshop this late afternoon. Golden light, filtered through tall, paned windows, illuminates dust motes dancing lazily above polished oak workbenches. You pause, allowing your eyes to adjust to the subdued glow, a familiar tranquility settling over you. The soft scuff of your kid leather slippers on the wide, planked floor is the only sound, a quiet echo in the hushed space. You move slowly towards the central bench, where a newly finished violin rests on a velvet cloth, waiting. Your gaze falls upon the instrument, the carefully chosen spruce and maple gleaming under its first coat of amber varnish. The surface catches the light, reflecting a warm, deep glow that hints at the layers of careful craft beneath. You lean closer, observing the liquid sheen, the way it flows over the delicate curves of the F-holes, a testament to the artisan's patient hand. A subtle warmth radiates from the wood, a memory of the hands that shaped it, now cradled in its protective finish. You trace the outline of the violin's body with your eyes, noticing the minute variations in the wood grain, now magnified and deepened by the transparent coating. Each ripple, each tiny fleck of character, becomes a part of its unique story. The air around you feels still, almost reverent, holding the quiet presence of this new creation. From a corner of the room you hear the soft, rhythmic scrape of a fine-toothed file against a small piece of ebony. One of your master craftsmen, perhaps, is meticulously shaping a bridge or a tuning peg, his movements precise and unhurried. His presence is a quiet hum of dedication, a reassuring backdrop to your own contemplation. You appreciate the focused silence, the mutual respect for the craft that fills this space. You notice the way the light catches the fine dust that settles on his dark, woolen coat, a silent testament to hours spent in careful labor. You extend your hand, not to touch, but to feel the air above the violin's arching back. The faintest resistance, a subtle coolness, speaks of the varnish slowly hardening, curing to a durable, resonant skin. The scent of the wood, a mix of resin and aged timber, combines with the delicate, almost floral notes of the finishing oil, creating an aroma that is both grounding and sophisticated. You take a slow, deep breath, letting the rich, complex fragrance fill your senses. The violin, in its silent repose, seems to absorb the last rays of the afternoon sun, holding the light in its newly varnished heart. Character count, 2,887. The soft, lingering warmth of the newly varnished violin remains in your awareness as you gently withdraw your hand from the space above it. The faint scent of resin and wood still perfumes the quiet air of your private workshop, a subtle invitation to linger. You shift your weight, the fine kid leather of your slippers whispering against the smooth oak floorboards, and turn your attention to the other treasures held within this refined space. The late afternoon sun, now a deeper gold, continues to pour through the tall windows, casting long, peaceful shadows across the room. Your gaze drifts towards a section of the workshop dedicated to raw materials, a carefully organized array of aged timbers. Here, planks of spruce and maple, some many decades old, lean against the wall or rest on sturdy racks, each piece a promise of future music. The air in this corner carries a slightly different aroma, drier, earthier, hinting at the slow passage of time and the natural processes of curing. You appreciate the quiet integrity of these materials, their inherent beauty waiting to be revealed. You approach a stack of particularly fine maple, chosen long ago from the forests of Bosnia. With a deliberate, unhurried motion, you reach out and select a wide, quarter-sawn piece, its surface unadorned by varnish. Your fingertips make contact with a cool, smooth wood, feeling the delicate undulations of its natural grain. It possesses a satisfying weight, a density that speaks of its strength and resonance. You run your palm along its length, sensing the subtle, almost imperceptible texture that hints at its history. Each year of growth, now a part of its silent narrative. The light catches the surface, illuminating the distinctive flame or curl within the maple. These shimmering, wavy patterns seem to shift and dance as you angle the wood slightly, a natural artistry embedded deep within the fibers. It is a visual melody, a silent echo of the sound it will one day help to create. You notice the delicate, almost pearlescent sheen that moves across the grain, an inherent luminescence that will only deepen with time and careful finishing. The wood feels cool and solid, a testament to its slow, patient drying. A faint, distant chime from the clock tower in the city drifts through the open casement window, a soft, muted sound that barely disturbs the tranquility. It is a gentle reminder of the world beyond these walls, yet it only serves to deepen the calm within your workshop. You hold the maple, feeling its cool presence, a raw elegance in your hands. You turn it over once more, allowing the light to explore every facet of its untouched beauty, appreciating the quiet potential held within its smooth, unworked surface. Character count: 3004. The cool, smooth weight of the raw maple, still in your hands from your earlier contemplation, feels substantial as the late afternoon light begins its slow retreat from the main workshop. You make a quiet decision to return it to its proper place, ensuring its continued, patient maturation. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards as you turn, carrying the precious timber with a gentle, deliberate care. You move through a narrow, arched doorway, leaving the lingering scent of fresh lacquer behind. The air immediately shifts, growing cooler, drier, as you step onto the smooth, gray flagstones of the short corridor that leads to the storeroom. The soft clink of a distant latch, perhaps a servant securing an outer door, is a barely audible sound in the quiet house. You approach a heavy oak door, its surface worn smooth by generations of hands, and push it open with a subtle pressure. It yields with a low, deep sigh, revealing the hushed sanctuary within. The storeroom is a chamber of profound stillness, meticulously organized. Rows of sturdy, custom-built shelving, crafted from dark, unvarnished pine, line the walls, each laden with carefully stacked planks and billets of wood. The light here is softer, more diffused, filtering through a single, high window glazed with thick, wavy glass, creating an almost monastic atmosphere. The dominant scent is a deep, resonant aroma of aged timber, a dry, woody fragrance that speaks of decades, even centuries, of slow curing. You walk towards an empty space on a lower shelf, specifically prepared for maple. With a soft, controlled movement, you lower the heavy plank onto the smooth pine surface. The faint, satisfying thud of wood, meeting wood, echoes briefly in the quiet room, a sound of perfect placement. You slide the maple forward slightly, aligning it precisely with its neighbors, ensuring proper air circulation around each valuable piece. Your fingers linger for a moment on its cool, unworked surface, feeling the subtle ridging of the grain before you withdraw your hand. Your gaze then sweeps across the surrounding collection. Above you, thin, perfectly book-matched sets of spruce tops. Their light color a contrast to the darker maple, rest vertically in their slots, like pages in an ancient book. Each piece is marked with a small handwritten label detailing its origin, perhaps the Swiss Alps or the forests of Bohemia, and the year it was felled. You notice a slight gap between two particularly old pieces of spruce, and reach out to gently adjust one, sliding it a fraction of an inch to restore the perfect, even spacing. The wood is cool and dry to the touch, almost powdery, a testament to the slow evaporation of moisture over time. The only sound now is the almost imperceptible creak of the building settling, a quiet whisper from the ancient timbers of the house itself. You stand for a moment, enveloped by the cool, dry air and the deep, grounding scent of the aged woods. Each plank, each block, holds the silent promise of future resonance, slumbering in this carefully preserved space. The very air seems to hum with the quiet potential of the raw materials, waiting patiently for the artisan's hand. Character count, 3,418. The cool, dry air of the storeroom, still scented with aged timber, lingers around you as you gently close the heavy oak door. The subtle click of the latch resonates softly in the quiet corridor, a final punctuation to your task of arranging the precious tonewoods. Your kid leather slippers glide almost silently over the smooth gray flagstones, guiding you back towards the main workshop, where the last vestiges of the afternoon sun still hold their golden sway. You re-enter the main workshop, the faint, sweet aroma of fresh lacquer and resin greeting you once more, a familiar comfort. The light has softened further, shifting from a vibrant gold to a warmer, more diffused amber. Dust motes, once dancing vigorously, now drift with a slower, more deliberate grace in the gentle currents of air. You find yourself drawn towards one of the tall, arched windows, its panes now reflecting the deepening hues of the sky. You approach the window, your footsteps hushed on the polished oak floorboards. Resting your hand lightly on the cool, smooth sill, crafted from a single slab of local marble, you gaze out. The rooftops of neighboring buildings, a mosaic of red tiles and dark slate, stretch towards the horizon. Smoke curls lazily from distant chimneys, thin gray ribbons against the softening blue of the early evening sky. The sounds of the city, usually a subtle hum, seem even more muted from this elevated vantage point, a gentle, distant murmur of everyday life. As you stand, observing the tranquil descent of dusk, a deep, resonant tone begins to drift through the quiet air. It is the distinct, sonorous chime of St. Stephen's Cathedral, carried on the gentle breeze from across the city. The first note is a profound, vibrating rumble, then another, and another, each a slow, deliberate beat, marking the passage of the hour. The sound is full and rich, yet softened by distance, a majestic echo that seems to reverberate not just in the air, but deep within the quiet spaces of your own contemplation. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the deep, slow vibrations to wash over you, feeling the subtle tremor in the very air, the distinct quality of the ancient bronze, so different from the nascent resonance of the varnished violin resting nearby, fills your senses. It is a sound that has marked time for generations in this city, a timeless anchor in the unfolding evening. The chimes slowly fade, leaving behind a profound stillness, a gentle quietude that feels almost palpable. The last, lingering echo of the bell seems to settle around you, a soft blanket of peace. You open your eyes to see the sky outside, now painted in soft lavender and rose, the city lights beginning to prickle into existence far below. The air near the window feels cool against your skin, a refreshing contrast to the warmth of the workshop, inviting a moment of quiet repose. Character count, 3,266. The last faint echo of St. Stephen's chimes seems to gently dissolve into the cool, deepening air around you as you withdraw from the workshop window. The sky outside is now a muted tapestry of lavender and gray, signaling the true arrival of early evening. A quiet sense of purpose guides your steps, moving you away from the main workshop's lingering scent of fresh varnish, towards a smaller, more secluded chamber within your grand house. Your kid leather slippers make barely a sound on the smooth oak floor as you pass through a discreet, paneled door. This is your private studio, a sanctuary where the most delicate and precise aspects of your craft are undertaken. The air here is noticeably warmer, imbued with a subtle, complex perfume of various resins, essential oils, and aged wood. A single beeswax candle, already lit by a diligent attendant, casts a soft, flickering glow across the room, illuminating a heavy, polished walnut table at its center. This table is meticulously clean, prepared for your work. You approach it, feeling the smooth, cool surface beneath your fingertips as you settle into a high-backed, velvet-upholstered stool. Before you, arranged with quiet precision, are the precious components for your next batch of varnish. Small, stoppered glass bottles, each containing a different, clear liquid, shimmer faintly in the candlelight. One holds pure Venetian turpentine, its scent sharp and clean, while another contains a refined linseed oil, golden and viscous. Beside them, a small, carefully weighed pile of raw amber resin, its fragments gleaming like tiny jewels, awaits its transformation. You reach out, your fingers lightly touching one of the amber pieces, feeling its cool, hard, yet surprisingly light texture. You select a small, heavy ceramic crucible, its interior gleaming with a faint, clean sheen. With deliberate care, you pour a precise measure of the Venetian turpentine into the crucible, the liquid flowing with a soft, almost inaudible whisper against the ceramic. The scent of pine resin immediately intensifies, crisp and invigorating. Next, you slowly add the golden linseed oil, watching as it melds with the turpentine, forming a slightly thicker, pale yellow solution. The liquids swirl together with a gentle, mesmerizing inertia, their surfaces catching the candle's dance. Now, with a tiny silver spoon, you begin to carefully transfer the small pieces of raw amber resin into the mixture. Each fragment drops with a delicate clink against the ceramic, a sound both fragile and resonant in the quiet room. You observe them settling, some sinking slowly, others floating momentarily on the surface, their amber warmth contrasting with the pale liquid. The process is unhurried, each addition a thoughtful step in a long-practiced ritual. The air around you becomes richer, a delicate blend of pine and the deep, ancient scent of the amber beginning to awaken. You pause, allowing the subtle alchemy to begin its work, the raw ingredients resting in their crucible. The soft, gentle glow of the candle reflects in the surface of the nascent varnish, a promise of the rich, deep luster it will soon impart. The evening outside has fully descended, leaving you in this quiet, warm space, surrounded by the delicate scents and the silent potential of your craft. The delicate scent of the nascent amber varnish now quietly resting in its ceramic crucible still subtly perfumes the warm air of your private studio. Your gaze drifts from the golden liquid, past the flickering beeswax candle, towards another object waiting patiently on the polished walnut table, catching the softened light of the early evening. It is a fingerboard, carved from the deepest, richest ebony, destined for a future masterpiece. It lies horizontally, perfectly aligned with the edge of the table, its dark, profound form absorbing the soft candlelight rather than reflecting it with any brilliance. The surrounding silence of the room seems to settle around this dense piece of wood, a hushed reverence for its inherent quality and the meticulous work it represents. You reach out, your fingers approaching the smooth, unyielding surface of the ebony. The air directly above it feels distinctively cool, a subtle contrast to the ambient warmth of the candle flame in the studio itself. Your fingertips make first gentle contact, a slow, almost imperceptible brush against the highly polished wood, a feeling of dense, cool solidity. A profound coolness immediately greets your skin, a sensation of immense weight and unyielding hardness, unlike any other timber. You begin to trace the elegant, subtle curve of the fingerboard, from its wider, robust base to its slender, refined tip. The ebony feels utterly smooth, almost slick beneath your touch, yet with a minute, hidden texture that speaks of countless hours of patient shaping and fine sanding, an almost silky resistance. You follow the precise, almost imperceptible arch along its entire length, a meticulously calculated curve designed for the effortless movement of a musician's hand across its surface. The polished ebony gleams faintly only where the candlelight directly touches it, revealing the deepest, most profound black without a hint of visible grain or imperfection. It is a material chosen for its exceptional hardness, stability, and enduring beauty, a true cornerstone of the instrument's playability and longevity. The subtle, comforting weight of the ebony seems to anchor it firmly to the table, a quiet testament to its extraordinary density. You move your thumb slowly across its width, feeling the slight, rounded edges, the precise, almost imperceptible bevels that ensure both comfort for the player and accuracy for the instrument. The air around this dark, silent piece feels profoundly still, holding the quiet promise of future music, of skilled fingers dancing across its cool, smooth expanse in countless performances. You allow your hand to rest gently upon the ebony for a moment longer, feeling its solid, cool presence. The deep blackness seems to absorb the last, soft light of the evening, a calm, unwavering stillness in the quiet glow of the candle. It is a silent sentinel, patiently awaiting its moment to contribute its strength and beauty to the voice of a new violin. The profound coolness of the polished ebony fingerboard slowly recedes from your fingertips as you gently withdraw your hand, leaving it to rest quietly on the walnut table. The soft, flickering glow of the beeswax candle still illuminates the nascent varnish in its crucible, but the demands of the evening now draw your attention to a different aspect of your craft. You rise from the velvet-upholstered stool, your kid leather slippers making a faint, almost imperceptible brush against the polished oak floorboards as you move towards a more administrative corner of your private studio. Here, a substantial mahogany desk stands, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster under the soft, focused beam of a brass desk lamp. The lamp's shade, crafted from deep emerald glass, diffuses the light into a warm, inviting pool, pushing back the encroaching shadows of the early evening. The air in this specific area carries a faint, comforting scent of beeswax polish, mingling with the dry, earthy aroma of aged paper and leather. You settle into a grand, high-backed chair, its cushioned seat offering a gentle, enveloping support, and lean slightly forward, your gaze falling upon the items meticulously arranged on the desk. At the center of the illuminated circle rests a rolled parchment, secured with a narrow ribbon of deep crimson silk. This is a patron's commission, a tangible link to the discerning individuals who seek your unique artistry. With unhurried, deliberate movements, you reach for the scroll. Your fingers make gentle contact with the cool, dry silk, feeling its smooth, tightly woven texture as you carefully untie the delicate knot. The ribbon unfurls with a soft, almost inaudible sigh, a whisper of luxury in the quiet room. You then slowly unroll the parchment, allowing its tightly coiled form to relax and flatten under your careful hands. The paper, thick and creamy, reveals itself with a soft, dry rustle, a sound like autumn leaves stirred by a gentle breeze. Its surface bears the subtle, elegant watermark of a renowned papermaker, visible only when angled just so in the lamplight. The scent of old paper, a delicate, almost sweet aroma, rises gently as the document fully extends, its crisp edges lying flat against the polished mahogany. Your eyes begin to trace the elegant script, penned in a dark, rich, iron gall ink that has mellowed to a deep sepia with time. It details the specific requests of Count von Esterhazy, the preferred dimensions, the desired tonal qualities, the choice of highly figured Bosnian maple for the back and sides, and the specific age of the Italian spruce for the top. You notice a small, exquisitely drawn sketch of a violin outline in the margin, its graceful curves rendered with an artisan's precision, reflecting the Count's refined aesthetic. You pick up a weighty, silver-handled magnifying glass, its polished lens cool and smooth against your palm. Slowly, you move it across the parchment, allowing the fine print and intricate details of the drawing to come into sharper focus. The tiny fibers of the paper, the minute variations in the ink, the delicate nuances of the sketch, all become clearer, drawing you deeper into the specifics of the commission. The soft, focused light of the lamp casts a gentle, unwavering glow upon the document, illuminating every subtle intention and precise specification. You pause, allowing the details to settle, absorbing the quiet elegance of the request. Character count, 3,427. You gently lay the Count's parchment back onto the polished mahogany desk, its intricate details and precise specifications now firmly etched in your mind. The soft, emerald glow from the brass desk lamp feels warm against your face, but a subtle shift in the air, a cool whisper from an open casement window, beckons you away from the confines of the studio. The early evening, now fully settled, invites a moment of quiet repose beyond the work. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, almost imperceptible brush against the oak floorboards as you rise from the cushioned chair. You move with unhurried grace through a small, arched passage, the air growing progressively cooler and fresher with each step. The subtle scent of aged paper and beeswax polish gradually gives way to a more natural, verdant fragrance. The passage opens directly into a secluded inner courtyard, a private haven within the heart of your grand house. The courtyard is a tranquil space, walled on all sides by ancient ivy-clad stone, which now absorbs the last faint blush of twilight. Overhead, the sky is a deep, velvety blue, with the first few stars beginning to prickle through the darkening expanse. The air is cool and still, carrying the delicate, sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine that twines around a wrought iron trellis. You settle onto a cushioned stone bench, its surface still holding the warmth of the vanished sun, facing a small, gurgling fountain whose soft, rhythmic splash is the only sound. Almost immediately, A quiet rustle of fine livery announces the discreet presence of an attendant. Without a word, a delicate porcelain cup, adorned with a subtle gold rim, is placed gently upon the small wrought iron table before you. The porcelain is cool to the touch, but a profound warmth radiates from within the cup. A thin, fragrant wisp of steam rises gracefully from the dark liquid, carrying the rich, deep aroma of finely roasted Viennese coffee, a comforting and sophisticated fragrance that fills the cool evening air. You lift the cup, feeling the smooth, cool porcelain against your fingertips, a pleasing weight in your hand. The warmth from the coffee permeates the ceramic, spreading a gentle, enveloping heat through your palms. You bring the cup closer, allowing the complex, earthy, and slightly bitter scent of the coffee to deepen, a grounding aroma that contrasts beautifully with the floral notes of the jasmine. The very air around you feels still, holding the delicate balance of these contrasting fragrances. A servant moves quietly in the background, tending to a lantern, its soft yellow glow, adding another layer of warmth to the deepening twilight. The distant murmur of the city, now a mere whisper, reaches you, softened and diffused by the high courtyard walls, a comforting, unobtrusive backdrop to this moment of quiet indulgence. You take a slow, deliberate sip of the coffee, its rich, dark warmth spreading a subtle comfort through you, a perfect complement to the tranquil evening. Character count: 3,410. The comforting warmth of the Viennese coffee slowly recedes from your hands as you place the porcelain cup back onto the wrought iron table in the secluded courtyard. The last, delicate scent of jasmine mingles with the fading aroma of coffee in the cool, still air of the early evening. A quiet sense of transition guides you from this moment of repose back into the warmth and purpose of your house. Your kid leather slippers make barely a sound on the smooth flagstones as you move, the soft gurgle of the fountain fading behind you as you re-enter the quiet corridors. You pass through several richly paneled hallways, the polished oak gleaming softly under the glow of strategically placed wall sconces, each holding a steady beeswax candle. The air here is subtly different, a blend of old wood and the faint, sweet perfume of potpourri from the main salons. You arrive at a discreet, unmarked door, its surface a seamless part of the wall paneling, and push it open with a gentle, practiced hand. It swings inward silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your material chamber. This room is a treasure trove of the finest textiles, kept in perfect order and climate. Shelves of dark, aromatic cedar line the walls, each compartment carefully designed to protect its precious contents. The air within is dry and cool, carrying a subtle, clean scent of cedar and fine, natural fibers. Soft, diffused light, emanating from a large, frosted glass lantern hanging from the ceiling, illuminates rows of stacked fabrics, velvets, brocades, and most prominently, rolls of exquisite silk, each a potential inner world for a newly crafted violin. Your gaze sweeps across the array of silks, their muted colors appearing richer, deeper, in the soft lantern light. There are bolts of deep sapphire, forest green, and a rich, warm burgundy, each waiting for its perfect purpose. You move towards a particular section, your slippers making no sound on the thick, woven rug that covers the polished stone floor. Your hand reaches for a roll of silk, its color a subtle antique gold, reminiscent of the varnish you apply to your finest instruments. With careful precision, you lift the heavy roll from its cedar shelf. The silk feels cool and dense in your hands, the tightly wound fabric promising a luxurious weight. You carry it to a broad, dark oak table in the center of the room, its surface smooth and cool against your touch. Gently you begin to unroll a length of the fabric, allowing it to unfurl slowly across the polished wood. The silk whispers softly as it cascades, a delicate, rustling sound that is barely audible in the quiet chamber. As the fabric spreads, the lantern light catches its surface, revealing the subtle, iridescent sheen of the woven threads. It is a deep, lustrous gold, not overtly bright, but with an inner glow that shifts and shimmers with the slightest movement of your hand. You run your palm over the silk, feeling its extraordinary smoothness, its cool, fluid drape. The fabric feels exquisitely fine, a second skin, yet possesses a surprising strength in its weave. Each tiny fiber seems to reflect and absorb the light in its own unique way, creating a living tapestry of color. You hold a corner of the silk between your thumb and forefinger, feeling its delicate weight, its elegant fall. It would provide the perfect, protective embrace for a newly finished violin, its rich color a complement to the instrument's amber glow. You consider the way the violin would rest, nestled within this luxurious lining, protected from the world, yet presented with a quiet dignity. The thought of the instrument, cradled within this soft, opulent space, brings a sense of deep satisfaction. The subtle sheen of the gold silk seems to hold the quiet promise of future elegance, patiently awaiting its transformation. The cool, fluid drape of the gold silk, still spread across the dark oak table, settles beneath your hand, its subtle sheen reflecting the soft lantern light. The choice for the new violin case lining feels right, a quiet affirmation of elegance and protection. With a gentle, deliberate motion, you carefully fold the length of silk back onto its roll, the fine fabric whispering softly against itself, a delicate rustle in the quiet chamber. The cedar scent of the shelves still lingers in the air, a clean, woody fragrance. You return the heavy roll of silk to its designated place on the cedar shelf, the cool, smooth wood of the shelf, a familiar sensation against your fingers. A sense of completion for the small task settles over you. However, the Count's commission, with its specific requests, now draws your thoughts toward the foundational principles of your craft. You move from the textile shelves towards a different, more secluded corner of the material chamber, where the history of violin making is carefully preserved. Here, within a tall, narrow cabinet crafted from rich, dark walnut, reside your most treasured historical documents and designs. The cabinet door opens with a soft, precise click, revealing stacked drawers and carefully rolled parchments, each secured with delicate ribbons. The air that emerges from within carries a distinct, dry and slightly sweet scent of very old paper, a fragrance that speaks of centuries of careful preservation and quiet knowledge. You reach for a specific drawer, its polished brass handle, cool and smooth beneath your touch. With a slow, unhurried pull, the drawer glides open with a soft, almost imperceptible whoosh of displaced air. Inside, nestled amongst other historical plans, lies a rolled parchment, thicker and more brittle than the Count's commission, its edges softened by time. This particular scroll holds the intricate designs of a master from the previous century, a blueprint of foundational curves and proportions. With utmost care, you lift the ancient parchment from its resting place. It feels surprisingly light, yet firm, in your hands, its surface dry and cool. You carry it to the broad oak table, the same one where the silk had just rested, and gently begin to unroll it. The parchment rustles softly, a dry, papery sound that evokes images of distant workshops and long-vanished hands. Each subtle crackle of the aged material is a whisper from the past, a delicate sound of history unfolding. The lantern light, warm and steady, illuminates the faded ink of the drawing. It is a meticulous rendering of a violin, its lines still remarkably clear despite the passage of time. You trace a finger lightly, without touching, along the graceful sweep of the instrument's outline, noting the precise measurements and annotations in an elegant, almost forgotten script. The subtle texture of the aged parchment, its almost imperceptible stiffness, speaks of its enduring journey through time, a silent guide for your own artistry. You lean closer, absorbing the quiet wisdom contained within the ancient lines, feeling the calm presence of generations of craftsmanship. The air around the old design seems to hum with a gentle, historical resonance, a subtle echo of the past informing the present. The details on the parchment, though faded, remain sharp enough to guide, a quiet bridge between eras. The dry, papery rustle of the ancient instrument design, now carefully re-rolled and returned to its walnut cabinet, leaves a faint, lingering scent of venerable parchment in the air of the material chamber. The soft, diffused light of the frosted glass lantern still illuminates the rows of exquisite silks, but your thoughts have shifted from historical blueprints to the tangible creation of a new instrument. You step out of the quiet textile sanctuary, your kid leather slippers making a faint, hushed sound on the polished oak floorboards as you return to the main workshop. The air here is a familiar blend of fresh wood shavings, a subtle hint of resin, and the faintest memory of the lacquer from the newly varnished violin. The workshop, now bathed in the soft, steady glow of oil lamps, feels purposeful and still. Your gaze settles upon a large, unworked billet of aged spruce, carefully selected for a soundboard, resting on a heavy, felt-lined workbench. This particular piece from the Val di Fiemme possesses an exceptional tightness of grain, promising remarkable resonance. You approach the workbench, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the aged oak beneath your hands as you lean slightly. With a deliberate motion, you carefully lift the spruce billet. It feels surprisingly light, yet firm, in your hands, its dry, pale surface almost luminous in the lamplight. You turn it slowly, feeling the subtle texture of the sawn edges, and position it precisely on a specialized planing jig, ensuring its absolute stability. The wood emits a soft, almost imperceptible whisper as it settles into its prepared cradle. Next, you reach for your finest plane, a tool crafted from dark, polished rosewood and gleaming brass, its blade honed to an almost molecular sharpness. Your fingers close around the cool, smooth wood of the plane's body, feeling the familiar, balanced weight in your hand. You adjust the brass cap iron with a tiny, precise turn, feeling the subtle click of the mechanism, setting the blade to take an almost impossibly thin shaving. The air holds a brief, expectant stillness, a quiet anticipation. With a deep, unhurried breath, you bring the plane to the end of the spruce, aligning the blade with the grain. The first pass begins, a slow, deliberate push. A profound, rhythmic, swish sound emerges, a deep, resonant hum that vibrates through the wood and up into your hands. It is a sound of perfect contact, of wood yielding to steel with exquisite precision. A long, impossibly thin curl of spruce, translucent and fragrant, peels away from the surface, coiling gracefully onto the workbench like a delicate ribbon. You pause, drawing the plane back with a gentle, controlled motion. Your eyes scan the newly revealed surface of the spruce, now perfectly smooth and gleaming, its tight, parallel grain lines distinct and clear. The scent of fresh spruce, clean and resinous, intensifies around you, a pure, invigorating aroma that speaks of the living forest. You take another slow, deliberate breath, and then, with the same measured pressure, begin a second pass, the rhythmic swish resuming, a steady, hypnotic cadence in the quiet workshop. The air around you seems to resonate with the soft, consistent hum of the plane, a testament to focused, unhurried craft. The rhythmic rish of your plane against the spruce soundboard slowly tapers into a final, soft glide, leaving a perfectly smooth, fragrant surface. You carefully lift the rosewood plane from the wood, the subtle scent of fresh spruce filling the immediate air around you. The golden hour light, which moments ago illuminated each delicate shaving, now begins its gentle retreat from the workshop, casting longer, softer shadows across the polished oak floorboards. You pause, allowing the silence to settle back into the room, broken only by the faint, distant sounds of the city preparing for evening. The spruce soundboard, now planed to its precise thickness, feels cool and smooth beneath your fingertips, a quiet testament to the hours of careful work. You gently place the soundboard back onto the felt-lined workbench, ensuring its stability, and then lay your finely honed plane beside it, its brass gleaming softly in the diminishing light. Your gaze drifts across your workbench, a scene of meticulous order and purposeful activity. Tools of polished steel and dark, aged wood are arranged with an almost artistic precision, each in its designated place. Chisels with their gleaming, sharp edges rest in their velvet-lined slots, alongside small, delicate files and gauges. The surface of the oak workbench, worn smooth by generations of hands, reflects the fading light with a deep, mellow warmth, revealing the subtle grain of the wood. A thin layer of fine spruce dust, pale and ethereal, now coats parts of the workbench, catching the last rays of the setting sun. It sparkles faintly, like a dusting of gold, a silent record of the day's diligent work. You reach out, your finger lightly tracing a clean line through the soft powder, feeling its incredibly fine, almost imperceptible texture. The scent of fresh wood shavings, crisp and resinous, still lingers, a grounding aroma that speaks of honest craftsmanship. Through the tall paned windows, the sky outside has deepened to a rich, warm apricot, streaked with soft rose and lavender hues. The golden light, once so bright, now bathes the workshop in a diffused, ethereal glow, transforming familiar objects into silhouettes and softer forms. The air grows cooler, carrying a hint of evening dampness from the world beyond these walls. You can almost feel the gentle descent of twilight, a quiet transition from the active day to the reflective night. You stand for a moment, simply observing the slow, tranquil fading of the light. The workshop, usually a place of focused activity, now feels like a still life painting, each tool, each piece of wood, imbued with a quiet dignity and the soft receding glow. The subtle shift in ambient light brings a profound sense of peace, inviting a natural surrender to the quietude of the approaching night. The last soft glow of the golden hour light has finally receded from your meticulously organized workbench, leaving the space bathed in the steady, warm illumination of the oil lamps. The faint scent of fresh spruce shavings still lingers in the air, a comforting reminder of the day's focused work on the soundboard. A quiet sense of evening reflection now settles over the workshop, inviting a different kind of care and attention. Your gaze falls upon your tools, each a silent partner in your craft, awaiting their nightly ritual of maintenance. You reach for the rosewood plane, the one that so gracefully planed the spruce, lifting it gently from its felt-lined resting place. The polished rosewood body feels cool and smooth beneath your fingers, its familiar weight balanced perfectly in your hand. The gleaming brass cap iron and the razor-sharp steel blade reflect the lamp's soft light, a testament to their precision. You run a thumb lightly over the wooden handle, feeling the subtle contours that have molded to your grip over countless hours of work. From a small velvet-lined compartment within the workbench, you retrieve a small circular tin crafted from polished pewter. As you lift the lid with a quiet, almost imperceptible click, a subtle, sweet fragrance of pure beeswax gently wafts into the air. It is a warm, earthy aroma, delicately honeyed, mingling harmoniously with the lingering scent of wood. The beeswax itself, a pale, creamy yellow, sits firm and smooth within the tin, its surface slightly indented from previous use. You take a small, soft linen cloth, its fine weave feeling smooth and dry against your skin. With a delicate motion, you press a corner of the cloth lightly into the beeswax, gathering a minuscule amount onto the fabric. The wax yields with a faint, almost imperceptible resistance, a subtle texture against the cloth. You then begin to gently rub this wax onto the rosewood handle of the plane, using small, circular motions. The wood immediately responds, absorbing the wax, its grain deepening, gaining a richer, more profound luster. As you continue to rub, a subtle warmth begins to develop under your fingertips from the gentle friction, and the beeswax slowly melts into the pores of the wood. The plane's handle, once merely smooth, now feels incredibly supple and alive, its surface gaining a silken, almost velvety texture. The sweet scent of beeswax intensifies slightly, wrapping around your hands as you work, a comforting, natural perfume. Each stroke is deliberate, an act of appreciation for the tool's enduring quality. After ensuring the rosewood is thoroughly conditioned, you turn your attention to the gleaming brass and steel parts of the plane. With a clean section of the linen cloth, you gently buff the metal surfaces. The cool brass warms slightly beneath your touch, and a faint, almost inaudible whisper of fabric against metal can be heard. The steel blade, already pristine, gleams even brighter, its polished surface reflecting the lamp's steady light with renewed clarity. You admire the renewed sheen, the subtle, quiet gleam of a tool perfectly cared for, ready for its next precise task. Character count, 3,426. The subtle, sweet scent of beeswax, a lingering memory from the conditioning of your fine tools last evening, has now gently faded, replaced by the crisp, cool air of a new morning. Outside your workshop, the city is slowly stirring, but within these walls, a profound stillness reigns. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards as you cross the threshold from your private chambers, entering the familiar, quiet expanse of your atelier. The large workshop, usually bustling with activity later in the day, is now bathed in the serene, golden light of the early sun, filtering through the tall, arched windows. The air itself feels refreshed, cleansed by the night, carrying only the faint, clean aroma of aged wood and a subtle hint of the resin from yesterday's work. You move with unhurried grace towards the central area, where your workbench, now clear of tools, stands ready for the day's creations. Your gaze is drawn to a particularly strong shaft of sunlight that cuts diagonally through one of the large windows, illuminating a precise column of air above the polished oak. Within this luminous beam, countless delicate dust motes perform a slow, silent ballet. They drift and swirl with an almost ethereal grace, tiny specks of light catching and scattering the golden rays, moving with a rhythm that is both random and mesmerizing. Each particle, almost invisible alone, becomes a tiny star in this quiet, internal universe. You pause, allowing yourself to simply observe this intricate, unhurried dance. The motes, infinitesimally small, seem to float on currents of air you cannot feel, rising and falling, turning and sparkling as they catch the light. They are fragments of the very materials you work with, microscopic particles of spruce, maple, and rosewood, now suspended in the morning's first light. It is a visual whisper of all the careful shaping and refining that takes place within these walls, a silent record of the craft. The air around you feels utterly still, yet alive with this gentle, ceaseless movement. There is no sound, only the profound quiet of the workshop, accentuating the visual spectacle. You take a slow, deep breath, the clean, dry air filling your lungs, and notice the subtle coolness of the morning permeating the space. The light shifts almost imperceptibly as the sun climbs higher, altering the angle of the golden beam, and with it, the intricate pattern of the dancing motes. The workbench itself, usually a surface of purposeful action, now appears as a serene landscape in the soft, diffused light, awaiting its daily transformation. The dust motes continue their slow, gentle drift, a constant, quiet presence in the awakening atelier, a silent reminder of the delicate, continuous work that defines this peaceful space. The gentle dance of dust motes in the morning light, a silent ballet in the quiet air of your atelier, slowly recedes from your immediate focus. The golden warmth of the sun, now streaming more directly through the tall windows, illuminates a different object, drawing your discerning eye. A sense of quiet contemplation, a reverence for history and artistry, guides your steps across the polished oak floorboards towards a dedicated display within your workshop. Here, on a velvet-draped pedestal, rests a closed violin case, crafted from a rich, dark mahogany, its surface gleaming with a deep, aged luster. The brass clasps, dulled by centuries but still perfectly functional, hint at the precious cargo within. The air in this specific alcove carries a faint, dry scent of old wood, and the subtle, almost imperceptible aroma of aged varnish, a testament to the instrument's long history. You reach out, your fingers cool and deliberate, to unfasten the clasps. They release with a soft, resonant click, a sound of quiet anticipation. With utmost care, you lift the lid of the case. A profound silence seems to emanate from within, as if the instrument itself has been slumbering. The interior is lined with a deep, faded crimson velvet, now softened and worn smooth in places, cradling an antique violin of exceptional provenance. Its amber varnish, mellowed by time, glows softly in the morning light, revealing the exquisite flame of its maple back and the fine, even grain of its spruce top. The scent of aged wood, a complex fragrance of resin and history, rises gently from the open case. You carefully lift the violin from its velvet bed, feeling its surprising lightness, its delicate balance in your hands, the smooth, cool varnish, worn silken in places where countless hands have held it, offers a comforting tactile connection to its past. You turn the instrument slightly, allowing the pure morning light to fall upon its edges, where the purfling, the delicate inlaid strips of wood, encircles the perimeter of both the top and back plates. Your gaze now focuses intently on the purfling, a triple-layered inlay of ebony, boxwood, and ebony, meticulously set into the spruce and maple. It is not merely a decorative border, but a crucial element of the instrument's structural integrity and aesthetic refinement. The ebony strips are a deep, profound black, contrasting sharply with the pale, creamy yellow of the boxwood, creating an intricate, almost hypnotic pattern. Each curve, each precisely mitered corner, speaks of an artisan's unwavering skill and patience from long ago. With a gentle, almost reverent touch, you extend your index finger, allowing it to hover just above the delicate inlay. Then, with an exquisitely slow and controlled motion, you begin to trace the outer edge of the purfling, following its precise, unbroken line around the violin's upper bout. Your fingertip barely brushes the surface, feeling the subtle, almost imperceptible ridge where the purfling meets the main wood, a testament to the seamless integration of these tiny pieces. The varnish, though old, remains smooth and cool beneath your touch, allowing your finger to glide effortlessly. You continue your slow, deliberate tracing, following the elegant sweep around the C-bouts, the intricate, graceful curves of the violin's waist. The contrasting colors of the ebony and boxwood create a visual rhythm that is deeply calming, a silent testament to enduring beauty and masterful handwork. The air around the instrument feels still, holding the quiet presence of its history, as your finger continues its unhurried journey along the antique purfling, a gentle exploration of timeless craftsmanship. The delicate contours of the antique violin's purfling slowly recede from your touch as you gently place the instrument back into its velvet-lined case. The fine, aged wood, still warm from your hands, nestles securely within its crimson embrace. With a soft, deliberate motion, you close the mahogany lid, and the brass clasps engage with a quiet, satisfying click. A final punctuation to the day's contemplation of historical artistry. The air in the workshop, still faintly scented with old wood and subtle varnish, now feels ready for the quietude of evening. You leave the hushed reverence of the atelier, your kid leather slippers making a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards, carrying you through a dimly lit passage. The sounds of the city, once a distant murmur, are now almost entirely muted by the thick walls of your grand house. A subtle coolness permeates the air in the hallway, contrasting with the residual warmth of the workshop. You push open a heavy paneled door, carved from dark, rich walnut, and step into the tranquil embrace of your private sitting room. The room is a haven of quiet comfort, softly illuminated by the gentle glow of a single, tall candelabra on a nearby side table, its beeswax candles casting long, dancing shadows across the patterned damask wallpaper. A low-burning fire in the elegant marble hearth emits a faint, rhythmic crackle, a comforting backdrop to the profound stillness. The air here is subtly warmer, infused with the delicate, earthy scent of smoldering oak and the faint, sweet perfume of dried lavender from a bowl on the mantelpiece. You settle into a deep, velvet-upholstered armchair, its cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, enveloping you in luxurious comfort. The rich, dark green velvet feels exquisitely soft against your skin, its texture smooth and inviting. Almost immediately, a soft, almost imperceptible rustle of livery announces the discreet presence of an attendant. A delicate porcelain cup, adorned with a subtle gold rim and painted with elegant, tiny wildflowers, is placed gently onto a small, polished rosewood table beside you. The action is silent, save for the softest clink of porcelain meeting wood. A thin, fragrant wisp of steam rises gracefully from the dark liquid within the cup, carrying the warm, soothing aroma of an evening herbal infusion. It is a blend of chamomile, lemon balm, and a hint of mint, a fragrance specifically prepared to calm the mind and ease the body after a day of focused work. The porcelain cup feels cool and smooth against your fingertips, yet a profound warmth radiates from its contents, a gentle heat spreading through your palms, a comforting anchor in the quiet room. You bring the cup slowly to your lips, the porcelain edge cool and smooth against them. As you take a slow, deliberate sip, the warm, delicate liquid spreads a subtle, soothing sensation throughout your mouth. The gentle, earthy taste of the herbs, with their faint sweetness, is both refreshing and deeply relaxing. The distant, almost imperceptible sounds of the house settling for the night, perhaps a floorboard creaking or a distant door closing, only deepen the profound sense of peace. The warmth of the infusion flows through you, a soft internal light in the quiet dark. Character count, 3,426. The last, soothing warmth of the herbal infusion slowly recedes from your lips as you gently place the delicate porcelain cup back onto the rosewood table. The quiet comfort of your private sitting room, with its low burning fire and soft candle glow, feels like a gentle embrace. A subtle, almost imperceptible call, a quiet yearning for a different kind of contemplation, now guides your steps. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished marble floor as you rise and move through a dimly lit gallery, the faint scent of dried lavender following you. You pass through a tall, arched doorway, its heavy mahogany frame cool beneath your fingertips, and step into the hushed expanse of your music room. The air here is distinctly cooler, spacious, carrying a faint, clean aroma of aged wood and the subtle metallic tang of fine instrument strings. The room is vast, with high, coffered ceilings and tall windows now draped in heavy, dark green silk, absorbing the last vestiges of the evening light. A grand pianoforte, crafted from gleaming ebony, stands silently in one corner, its polished surface reflecting the distant candelabra's soft glow. You walk slowly across the thick, intricately patterned Aubusson carpet, its deep pile muffling your every step, creating a profound sense of stillness. Your gaze sweeps across the room, noting the empty music stands, the two antique violins resting silently in their wall-mounted velvet cradles, their forms barely visible in the subdued light. The silence here is not empty, but expectant, holding the quiet potential of countless melodies, of harmonies, yet to unfold. You approach a plush, velvet-upholstered chaise longue positioned perfectly to absorb sound, its rich burgundy fabric inviting repose. With an unhurried grace you settle onto the chaise longue, the soft velvet cushions yielding gently beneath your weight. The fabric, cool and smooth, cradles you, its texture a comforting luxury against your skin. You recline slightly, allowing your body to sink into its soft depths, feeling the subtle support along your back and neck. The faint scent of the velvet, a dry, almost dusty elegance, mingles with the cool, clean air of the room. You close your eyes, allowing the profound stillness to wash over you, deepening your sense of calm. In this quietude, your mind begins to fill the spacious room, not with actual sound, but with the imagined voice of a newly finished violin. You envision the delicate touch of a bow on strings, and a pure, warm note begins to resonate in your inner ear. It is a sound of exceptional clarity, rich and full, with a subtle sweetness that expands gently into the vastness of the room. You perceive the long, sustained decay of the note, the way its vibrations seem to linger in the air, slowly fading into an almost imperceptible hum, a perfect echo of its initial brilliance. Another imagined note follows, a lower, deeper tone, its richness filling the space, vibrating through the very floorboards beneath you, a profound, grounding resonance. Then, a higher, brighter note, clear as a crystal bell, soaring effortlessly towards the high ceiling. You hear the imagined harmony of two strings, perfectly in tune, their individual voices blending into a single, seamless chord, a sound that is both complex and utterly serene. The air around you, though physically silent, seems to shimmer with the silent presence of this imagined music, a profound and deeply satisfying internal symphony. You remain in this tranquil state, enveloped by the quiet luxury of the room and the gentle, imagined melodies. The subtle coolness of the air, the soft embrace of the velvet, and the profound stillness all contribute to a feeling of deep peace, a quiet anticipation of the beautiful sounds yet to be brought forth by your craft. The silent music continues to unfold within your mind, a soothing, endless stream of perfect resonant tones, inviting a deeper sense of rest. The imagined melodies of a finished instrument, which filled your music room moments ago, slowly recede from your inner ear, leaving behind a profound sense of quietude. The soft embrace of the velvet chaise longue still cradles you, its cool, smooth fabric, a gentle anchor in the tranquil space. As the last echoes of your internal symphony fade, a different kind of quiet contemplation beckons, a desire for the silent companionship of an ancient narrative. You rise with unhurried grace, your kid leather slippers making barely a sound on the thick Aubusson carpet, and move from the vast music room. You pass through the dimly lit gallery, the polished marble floor cool and smooth beneath your feet, a familiar path through the quiet house. The faint scent of dried lavender from the sitting room has now dissipated, replaced by the clean, cool air of the evening. You approach a heavy, intricately carved walnut door, its dark wood absorbing the soft glow of the distant candelabra. With a gentle, deliberate pressure, you push it inward and it yields silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your private library. The air in the library is rich and complex, a blend of aged leather, venerable paper, and the deep, earthy scent of polished mahogany and cedar. Rows upon rows of leather-bound books, their spines a mosaic of muted colors and intricate gold tooling, line the walls from floor to ceiling. A grand fireplace, now cool and dark, stands silently in one alcove, while a sturdy, velvet-covered armchair awaits in another, bathed in the soft, warm light of a single, tall oil lamp on a nearby reading stand. The lamp's flame, steady and golden, casts a gentle, inviting glow. You walk slowly towards a specific section of shelving, your slippers making no sound on the thick, patterned rug. Your gaze scans the titles, seeking a familiar comfort, a story to accompany the quiet descent of night. Your fingers, cool and sensitive, glide along the worn spines of the books, feeling the subtle textures of aged leather, some smooth and supple, others slightly ridged or cracked with the passage of time. The sheer weight of history, of countless narratives contained within these bindings, is almost palpable. You select a particular volume, its binding a deep, rich oxblood leather, its edges softened and rounded by generations of handling. Your fingers close around it, feeling its substantial weight, the pleasing density of the pages within. The leather, warm from the ambient temperature of the room, feels incredibly smooth and supple beneath your touch, worn to a silken finish in the places where it has been held most often. You bring it closer, inhaling the subtle, comforting scent of aged leather and dry paper, a fragrance that speaks of quiet contemplation and timeless stories. You carry the book to the velvet-covered armchair, its deep, plush cushions inviting repose. With a soft sigh, the chair yields as you settle into its embrace, the rich fabric cool and soft against your skin. You hold the leather-bound volume gently in your hands, feeling its warmth and solid presence. The quiet lamp casts its steady light upon the cover, illuminating the subtle imperfections in the leather, each a silent mark of its long, well-loved life. The book rests in your hands, a comforting weight, a silent companion for the quiet hours ahead. Character count, 3,424. The smooth, worn, leather-bound book, a silent companion through the quiet hours of the night, now rests closed upon your bedside table as the first soft light of dawn begins to filter through the heavy drapes of your private bedchamber. The comforting scent of aged leather and paper slowly dissipates, replaced by the crisp, cool air of a new morning. A subtle, almost imperceptible call, a gentle invitation from the waking world, draws you from the deep, velvet embrace of your sleep. Your bare feet make a soft, hushed sound on the cool, polished marble floor as you rise, moving towards the tall, arched window. You draw back the heavy, gold-threaded damask curtains with a deliberate, unhurried motion. The fabric glides silently along its brass rod, revealing the world outside. The sky is a pale, pearlescent gray, tinged with the faintest blush of rose at the horizon, promising a clear day. With a gentle push, you unlatch the casement window, and it swings inward with a soft, almost imperceptible creak, allowing the fresh morning air to flow into the stillness of your room. Immediately, a delicate, sweet fragrance drifts in on a gentle, cool breeze. It is the unmistakable scent of lilac, a rich, floral perfume, at once subtle and profound, carried from the carefully tended gardens below. The aroma is clean and pure, a gentle awakening for the senses, mingling beautifully with the faint, lingering scent of beeswax from the room's polished furniture. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the cool air to caress your skin, absorbing the quiet beauty of the morning. The breeze, almost imperceptible, carries with it the softest whisper of movement. You open your eyes to see the outermost leaves of the ivy clinging to the courtyard walls just outside your window, trembling almost imperceptibly, a delicate, silent dance in response to the gentle air. The pale green leaves, still dewy with the morning mist, shimmer faintly as they catch the nascent light, creating a subtle, calming visual rhythm. The soft rustle of the leaves is barely audible, a hushed murmur in the profound quiet. A distant, almost ethereal birdsong, a single clear note floats through the air, softened by the distance, a delicate thread of sound weaving through the stillness. It is a quiet affirmation of the new day, yet it does not break the sense of peace, but rather deepens it. The scent of lilac continues to waft gently, sometimes stronger, sometimes fading, a natural, unhurried rhythm of fragrance. The air feels cool and invigorating against your face, a refreshing contrast to the lingering warmth of your bed. You lean slightly against the cool, smooth marble sill, feeling its solid presence beneath your forearms. The quiet breath of the morning, imbued with the sweet perfume of lilac, continues to fill the room, cleansing and calming. The world outside is gently awakening, but within this space, surrounded by the delicate fragrance and the soft, cool air, a profound sense of peace settles around you, a tranquil beginning to the day. The delicate, sweet perfume of lilac, carried on the morning breeze through your open bedchamber window, slowly begins to recede from your senses as the sun climbs higher. The cool, fresh air still invigorates, but a quiet, internal shift now guides your attention towards the day's gentle, domestic rituals. Your bare feet make a soft, rhythmic brush against the cool, polished marble floor as you move from the window, leaving behind the awakening garden and its fragrant offerings. You step into the hushed quiet of the long, sunlit corridor, your kid leather slippers now softening your footsteps. The air here is subtly warmer, infused with the faint, clean scent of beeswax from the polished wainscoting and the dry, earthy aroma of aged tapestries. You pass a tall, arched window, its panes catching the golden light, and push open a heavy, paneled door carved from rich, dark mahogany. It swings inward with a soft, almost imperceptible sigh, revealing the tranquil expanse of your private study. The study is bathed in the soft, diffused glow of the morning sun, filtering through sheer linen curtains at the tall windows. The air within is still and warm, carrying a comforting blend of old paper, polished wood, and a subtle, dry, herbaceous fragrance. At the center of the room, a large, meticulously organized walnut desk stands, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster. Upon it, arranged with an almost artistic precision, are several small, unadorned wooden boxes, each crafted from light, smooth sycamore, their lids open and waiting. Beside these boxes, laid out on a square of fine, unbleached linen, are various bundles of dried herbs. There are pale green sprigs of lemon balm, their leaves still retaining a delicate crinkled form, dark aromatic clusters of lavender, their tiny flowers a muted violet, and light, feathery heads of chamomile, a soft creamy yellow. The scent of these dried botanicals is gentle yet profound, a soothing, earthy perfume that mingles harmoniously with the polished wood. You settle into a high-backed leather-upholstered chair, its cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, and lean slightly forward. With a slow, deliberate motion, you reach for a small bundle of the dried chamomile. Your fingertips make contact with the incredibly dry, brittle stems, feeling their delicate fragility. You bring the bundle closer, inhaling the warm, honeyed aroma of the flowers, a scent that promises tranquility. With exquisite care, you begin to gently separate the tiny flower heads from their stalks, allowing them to fall with a soft, almost inaudible, ghost-rouse patter onto the linen. Each small, dry bloom feels light and airy between your fingers. You then pick up one of the smooth sycamore boxes. Its wood feels cool and dry, its finely sanded surface almost silken beneath your touch. With a tiny silver scoop, its polished metal cool against your palm, you begin to transfer the dried chamomile flowers from the linen into the box. Each scoop of the delicate blossoms slides with a soft, rustling whisper into the smooth, hollow interior of the sycamore. The sound is barely audible, a delicate symphony of dry leaves settling into their new home. You watch as the light, creamy yellow of the chamomile slowly fills the box, creating a soft, even layer. The earthy, sweet scent of the herbs now rises more distinctly, wrapping around you in a gentle, calming cloud. You continue this slow, deliberate process, the rhythmic motion of scooping and settling, the subtle sounds of the dry herbs, all contributing to a profound sense of peace and order in the quiet study. The morning light continues to warm the room, illuminating the quiet purpose of your careful work. The soothing, earthy scent of dried herbs, now neatly arranged in their sycamore boxes, gently recedes from your awareness as the morning light, which filled your private study, gives way to the deep, quiet hush of late evening. A single beeswax candle, already lit by a thoughtful attendant, casts a soft, warm glow across a secluded corner, drawing you with its intimate illumination. You move with unhurried grace, your kid leather slippers making barely a sound on the thick, intricately patterned rug that covers the cool, polished stone floor, leaving the main expanse of the study behind. The air here in this quiet alcove feels particularly still, imbued with the delicate, sweet fragrance of beeswax from the burning wick and the subtle, dry aroma of old paper from the surrounding shelves. Your gaze settles upon a small, elegantly crafted walnut writing desk, its surface gleaming softly with a deep, rich luster under the intimate illumination. Upon the desk, held flat by two small, smooth, ovoid marble weights, their cool surfaces reflecting the candle's flame like tiny, captured stars, lies an unfurled parchment. It is your own unfinished scroll, a detailed design for a new violin, its graceful curves and precise measurements still incomplete, awaiting further refinement. The candlelight dances across its creamy, unblemished surface, highlighting the crisp, almost translucent edges of the parchment and the faint, delicate, preliminary pencil lines that mark the nascent shape of the instrument. The light itself seems to breathe, expanding and contracting with the candle's gentle flicker, bringing the delicate drawing to life with subtle shifts. You settle into a high-backed, leather-upholstered chair before the desk, its deep, plush cushions yielding with a soft, almost inaudible sigh beneath your weight, embracing you in its familiar comfort. The rich, dark leather, cool and smooth, offers a comforting tactile connection, a quiet anchor. You lean slightly forward, your eyes tracing the elegant yet incomplete outline of the violin's body, from the gentle swell of its lower bout to the nascent curve of the scroll. The parchment feels cool and dry beneath your fingertips, its fine, almost fibrous texture palpable even beneath the smooth, heavy marble weights. The air around the desk is profoundly silent, holding only the faint, sweet scent of beeswax from the candle and the dry, ancient aroma of the paper, a quiet blend. Your fingers, cool and sensitive, reach out, hovering just above the parchment, a breath away from its delicate surface. You follow the graceful sweep of an F-hole, still a mere pencil sketch, a whisper of its eventual form, imagining the precise, clean cut of the fine blade that will one day define its elegant curves. The raw, uninked lines speak of future possibilities, of crucial decisions yet to be made, of the instrument's unique voice still waiting to be coaxed from the wood. The soft, gentle light from the single candle casts a subtle, shifting shadow from your hand, a quiet, ephemeral companion to your deep, unhurried contemplation of the design. You notice a small, almost imperceptible imperfection in the parchment itself, a tiny natural fiber embedded within the paper, catching the light differently, a unique characteristic. It is a detail that grounds the abstract perfect design in the tangible, organic reality of the material, a subtle reminder of its natural origin. The quiet, rhythmic flicker of the candle's flame, a soft, almost inaudible whisper of light and heat, is the only movement in the profound stillness of the room, a steady pulse in the quiet evening. This unfinished scroll holds the profound promise of a future masterpiece, its silent, elegant curves waiting patiently for your steady, skilled hand to bring them into vibrant, resonant being. The delicate pencil lines on your unfinished scroll, illuminated by the soft, unwavering glow of the single beeswax candle, continue to hold your gaze. You lean back slightly into the yielding leather of the armchair, allowing the profound quiet of your private study to settle around you, a peaceful conclusion to the day's thoughtful, intricate work. The air, still scented with beeswax and old paper, feels warm and still. As you rest in this deep quietude, a subtle shift in the ambient sound draws your attention from the parchment. It is an almost imperceptible vibration, a faint, low rumble, felt more than heard, emanating from the distant street beyond the thick walls of your house. It is a sound that gradually, gently begins to grow, a quiet hum against the profound stillness of the late evening. Your eyes, previously focused on the intricate lines of the design, now drift towards the tall, heavy drapes that cover the study's windows, obscuring the world outside. You remain still in the armchair, the plush leather cool and smooth beneath your hands, simply listening. The distant rumble slowly gains definition, transforming into a distinct, rhythmic thudding. It is the muted sound of horses' hooves, striking the cobblestones with a steady, unhurried cadence, softened and diffused by the layers of stone, brick, and heavy fabric that separate you from the street. Each hoof-fall is a gentle, deep percussion, a quiet rhythm emerging from the night. Following the hooves, a different sound begins to emerge, a soft, distant clatter. It is the muffled roll of carriage wheels, their iron rims bumping gently over the uneven cobblestones. The sound is not sharp or jarring, but rather a smooth, sustained whisper of movement, a low, continuous friction against the ancient stones. You can almost feel the subtle vibration of the heavy vehicle, carried through the very foundations of the city, reaching you as a faint, comforting tremor in the quiet air. A delicate, almost imperceptible jingle then joins the symphony of sounds. It is the gentle chime of harness bells, perhaps a small adornment on the horses, or a decorative element on the carriage itself. This sound is the most ethereal, a tiny, silvery whisper that floats above the deeper rumble of hooves and wheels, adding a delicate, almost musical quality to the passing moment. It is a fleeting, precious detail, barely discernible against the background of the night, yet it paints a vivid picture of the elegant carriage moving slowly through the lamplit streets. The combined sounds of hooves, wheels, and bells slowly begin to recede, gradually diminishing in volume and clarity. The rhythmic thudding becomes softer, the gentle clatter fades into a mere whisper, and the delicate jingle of bells dissolves into the vastness of the distant night. The profound quiet of your study slowly reasserts itself, settling back around you like a soft, enveloping blanket, now perhaps even deeper and more serene, after the brief, passing interlude. The beeswax candle continues its steady, silent glow, a warm anchor in the tranquil room. You close your eyes, allowing the last faint echoes of the passing carriage to melt away into the stillness. The air remains infused with the comforting scent of beeswax and old paper, a testament to the quiet, enduring presence of your sanctuary. The world outside continues its gentle rhythm, but within these walls, a profound and undisturbed peace holds sway, inviting a deeper sense of rest. The profound stillness that enveloped you in your private study last night, after the distant rumble of the passing carriage faded, now gently gives way to the soft, diffused light of a new morning. You rise from your bed, your bare feet finding the cool, familiar marble of your bedchamber floor, and move with unhurried grace through the quiet house, drawn by the promise of a peaceful start to the day. Your path leads you to a smaller, more intimate space, designed for quiet contemplation and the gentle ritual of the morning meal, your breakfast nook. The cool, smooth touch of polished marble greets your fingertips as you settle into the quiet calm of your breakfast nook this gentle morning. You find yourself seated at a small, elegant table, its surface a pristine expanse of gray-veined white marble, cool and unyielding beneath your palms. The air in this intimate space is fresh and subtly cool, carrying a faint, clean scent of polished stone and the crispness of a new day. A single tall window, facing east, allows the soft early sunlight to illuminate the room with a gentle, diffused glow. This light makes the subtle gray veins in the marble tabletop appear even more pronounced, like delicate, frozen rivers flowing silently across the surface. You notice the way the light catches a tiny, almost invisible imperfection in the stone, a subtle mark that speaks to its natural origin and long geological history. Before you, arranged with exquisite precision, is a delicate porcelain cup and saucer, their surfaces gleaming faintly in the soft light. The cup is adorned with a hand-painted sprig of forget-me-nots, their tiny blue petals, a subtle splash of color against the pristine white ceramic. Beside it, a small silver spoon, its polished surface cool and smooth, rests neatly on a crisp linen napkin, folded into an elegant, simple shape. A single perfectly ripe peach, its skin a soft blush of rose and gold, sits in a small crystal bowl, its subtle sweet aroma just beginning to waft into the air. You extend your hand, allowing your palm to rest fully upon the cool, unyielding surface of the marble tabletop. The sensation is one of profound coolness, a deep, refreshing touch that slowly draws away any lingering warmth from your fingertips. The marble feels incredibly dense, solid, yet its polished finish is so smooth it almost feels liquid, a paradox of hardness and silkiness. You trace the faint, cool lines of the gray veins with your thumb, following their intricate, natural patterns, a silent meditation. The only sounds are the almost imperceptible rustle of the linen napkin as a gentle, unseen current of air passes, and the distant, muted clatter of a servant preparing breakfast in the kitchens below. These sounds are soft, unobtrusive, merely a gentle hum of the house awakening, serving only to deepen the profound sense of quiet and privacy in your nook. The light continues to brighten, slowly warming the cool stone, its presence a comforting, steady embrace. You close your eyes for a moment, the coolness of the marble, a grounding presence beneath your hand, feeling the quiet promise of the morning. The subtle scent of the peach, delicate and sweet, fills your senses, a gentle invitation to the day ahead. The porcelain cup, still empty, awaits its warm contents, poised for the ritual of a tranquil breakfast. The crisp, clean scent of the linen, a subtle counterpoint to the cool marble, lingers gently in the air. You slowly withdraw your hand, feeling the residual coolness on your fingertips, a quiet reminder of the serene start to the day as the soft morning light continues to fill the peaceful nook. The cool, smooth expanse of the marble tabletop, a serene anchor in your quiet breakfast nook, still holds the subtle memory of your fingertips. The crisp, clean scent of the linen napkin, folded with such precision, lingers in the fresh morning air. As you slowly withdraw your hand, leaving the pristine surface unmarred, a soft, almost imperceptible sound of movement announces a gentle arrival. A quiet rustle of fine livery, barely audible, signals the presence of an attendant. With practiced grace, a delicate porcelain teapot, its surface gleaming with a subtle pearlescent glaze, is placed silently on the marble beside your waiting cup. The teapot feels warm to the touch, a gentle heat radiating from its contents. Then, with a soft, almost ethereal whisper, the attendant lifts the teapot and begins to pour. A thin, steady stream of amber liquid flows into your cup, creating a soft, almost musical glug-glug sound as it fills the delicate porcelain. Immediately, a fragrant wisp of steam begins its slow, unhurried, unfurling from the surface of the tea. It rises gracefully, a delicate, almost translucent column, catching the soft, diffused morning light that filters through the east-facing window. The steam dances with an inherent, subtle motion, twisting and swirling as it ascends, creating ephemeral, ever-changing patterns against the cool, still air of the nook. It is a visual whisper, a silent exhalation of warmth and aroma. The scent of the tea, a delicate blend of Darjeeling and a hint of bergamot, slowly begins to fill the air around you. It is a subtle, complex fragrance, earthy and slightly floral, a comforting warmth that gently awakens your senses. You watch as the steam, now less dense, spreads outwards, dissipating slowly into the quiet space, leaving behind only the lingering, aromatic essence. The tea itself, a deep, clear amber, glows softly within the white porcelain, its surface still gently rippling from the pour. A small, thin slice of lemon, its pale yellow rind catching the light, is then delicately placed on the saucer beside your cup. Its faint, crisp citrus aroma adds another subtle layer to the morning's bouquet. You reach for the small silver spoon, its polished surface cool and smooth against your fingertips, and gently lower it into the tea. The spoon meets the porcelain bottom with a soft, melodious clink, a delicate chime in the quiet room. You stir the tea slowly, the liquid swirling with a gentle, hypnotic motion, creating tiny, ephemeral eddies on its surface. The warmth of the tea, now infused with the subtle fragrance of lemon, rises again, a soothing presence. The porcelain cup, still cool on its exterior, offers a comforting warmth to your palms as you lift it. The morning light continues to brighten, slowly warming the cool marble tabletop, its presence a comforting, steady embrace in the peaceful nook. You take a slow, deliberate sip, the warm, fragrant liquid spreading a gentle internal warmth. The subtle taste of the tea, delicate and refined, settles on your tongue, a tranquil beginning to the day. The faint, almost imperceptible sounds of the house continue their gentle hum, a distant, muffled backdrop to your quiet moment. The steam, now barely visible, still unfurls, a silent, ephemeral dance above the amber liquid, inviting a profound sense of calm. The last lingering warmth of your morning tea, now a gentle memory on your lips, slowly dissipates as you place the delicate porcelain cup back onto the cool, smooth marble tabletop. The subtle scent of peach and bergamot still perfumes the air in your breakfast nook, but the growing light of the morning now draws your thoughts towards a different kind of nourishment, a quiet quest for historical harmony. You rise from your seat, your kid leather slippers making a soft, rhythmic brush against the cool, polished marble floor as you leave the serene nook, moving through the quiet house. You traverse the sunlit corridors, the air growing subtly warmer, carrying the faint, clean scent of beeswax from the polished wainscoting. The distant, muted sounds of the household beginning its day are barely perceptible, a gentle hum against the profound stillness within these walls. You approach a grand, heavy door crafted from dark, rich walnut, its surface gleaming with a deep luster. With a deliberate, unhurried motion, you push it inward and it yields silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your private library. The air in the library is immediately distinct, a complex, comforting blend of aged leather, venerable paper, and the deep, earthy scent of polished mahogany and cedar. Rows upon rows of leather-bound books, their spines a mosaic of muted colors and intricate gold tooling, line the walls from floor to ceiling, absorbing the soft, diffused light that filters through tall, leaded glass windows. A profound quiet reigns, a deep sense of reverence for the countless narratives and knowledge contained within. You walk slowly towards a specific section of the room where a dedicated cabinet, crafted from dark, unadorned oak, houses your collection of antique musical scores. Your slippers make no sound on the thick, patterned Persian rug that covers the cool, polished stone floor, each step a gentle, silent glide. You reach out, your fingers cool and deliberate, to open the cabinet door. It swings outward with a soft, almost imperceptible glursh of displaced air, revealing neatly stacked folios and rolled parchments within. Your gaze settles upon a particular folio, its cover a faded, deep blue, secured with a thin, brittle linen ribbon. This contains a collection of sonatas for violin by a master from the previous century, a work of intricate beauty and historical significance. With utmost care, you retrieve the folio, feeling its surprising lightness, yet its underlying firmness, in your hands. The linen ribbon, dry and fragile, brushes faintly against your fingers as you carry it to a large, polished mahogany reading table in the center of the room. You settle into a high-backed, leather-upholstered chair, its cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, enveloping you in its familiar comfort. With slow, deliberate movements, you untie the brittle linen ribbon, the delicate fibers parting with a faint, dry whisper. You then open the folio, its heavy, laid paper pages revealing themselves with a soft, dry rustle, a sound like autumn leaves stirred by a gentle breeze. Immediately, a subtle, profound scent of aged paper wafts upwards, dry and earthy, mingled with a faint, almost sweet aroma of the old ink. It is a fragrance that speaks of centuries of quiet contemplation, of music played and recorded, a direct connection to the past. Your eyes trace the elegant, meticulously handwritten musical notation, the dark, sepia ink now softened by time, yet still remarkably clear against the creamy, slightly foxed paper. Each note, each delicate line of the staff, holds a silent, waiting melody, a composition ready to be reawakened. You run your thumb, very gently, along the edge of a page, feeling its delicate, slightly uneven texture, the faint impression of the printing press from long ago. The paper is cool and dry, almost brittle, a tangible link to the quiet artistry of the past. The subtle scent of aged paper from the old music score which you have just absorbed begins to recede from your senses as the morning light, now a little brighter, fills your private library. The intricate notations of the sonata stir a different kind of curiosity within you, a desire to connect with the physical instrument, even in its absence. Your gaze drifts towards a nearby slender case, crafted from dark, polished wood, resting quietly on a velvet-lined shelf. With slow, deliberate movements, you gently close the heavy folio, the aged paper rustling softly, with a dry, almost imperceptible whisper. The brittle linen ribbon, once untied, is carefully refastened, securing the ancient melodies within their cover. You place the volume reverently back onto its designated shelf, feeling the cool, smooth wood of the cabinet against your fingertips. The air around you, still rich with the scent of old paper, seems to hum with the quiet presence of countless stories. You turn towards the slender, dark wood case. Your fingers, cool and sensitive, trace the smooth, polished surface of its lid, feeling the subtle grain of the wood. With a quiet, practiced motion, you press the small brass latch. It yields with a soft, precise click, a delicate sound that barely disturbs the profound stillness of the library. The lid lifts slowly, revealing a single, exquisite violin bow nestled within a bed of deep, crimson velvet. The velvet feels soft and cool to the touch, a protective embrace for the delicate instrument. With utmost care, you reach into the case, your fingers gently closing around the polished stick of the bow. You lift it slowly, feeling its immediate familiar weight, a profound sense of balance that settles naturally into your hand. The stick, crafted from dark, rich Pernambuco wood, feels cool and smooth, its surface gleaming faintly in the soft morning light. The subtle scent of old wood and a faint, dry aroma of rosin, almost imperceptible, rises gently from the bow, a whisper of past performances. Your thumb rests on the cool, smooth ebony of the frog, its dark, dense surface polished to a profound black. You notice the delicate inlay of mother-of-pearl, a tiny, iridescent eye that catches the light with a soft, ethereal shimmer. Your fingers then drift to the silver winding, feeling its subtle, cool texture, the precise, minute ridges of the tightly coiled wire. Above the stick, the horsehair, a delicate ribbon of white, feels remarkably smooth and slightly coarse beneath a gentle, exploratory touch. You test its tension with a minute, almost invisible pressure, feeling the subtle give and resistance as you draw your finger along its length. You hold the bow horizontally, allowing it to rest perfectly balanced on your open palm, feeling its inherent equilibrium. The weight distribution, meticulously crafted, feels precisely right, a natural extension of your own arm. You turn it slowly, allowing the light to play across the polished wood of the stick, revealing its subtle, elegant curve, a testament to the artisan's hand. The quiet strength of the Pernambuco, combined with the delicate tension of the hair, speaks of its potential for nuanced expression, a voice waiting to be awakened. The air around the bow feels still, almost expectant, holding the silent promise of music yet to come. You gently lower the bow, its cool, smooth stick settling back onto the crimson velvet, a soft whisper of hair against fabric. The delicate gleam of the mother-of-pearl inlay seems to pulse softly in the quiet light, a final, serene image. The library remains a sanctuary of profound peace, The silent bow, a potent symbol of artistry, and the harmonious sounds yet to be created. The profound quiet of your library still envelops you as you gently close the slender case holding the finely balanced violin bow, its mother-of-pearl inlay now a soft, muted gleam in the morning light. The subtle scent of old wood and faint rosin lingers in the air, a whisper of past performances. A new day, filled with the promise of creation, now draws your thoughts towards the intricate details of a violin's construction. Your kid leather slippers make a soft rhythmic brush against the polished marble floor as you rise from the velvet chair, leaving the silent stories of the library behind. You move through the sunlit corridors, the air growing subtly warmer, carrying the faint, clean scent of beeswax from the polished wainscoting. The distant, muted sounds of the household beginning its day are barely perceptible, a gentle hum against the profound stillness within these walls. You push open a heavy, paneled door, carved from rich, dark walnut, and step into the familiar, purposeful quiet of your main workshop. The workshop is bathed in the clear, steady light of the morning sun, streaming through the tall, arched windows. The air itself feels refreshed, carrying a clean, invigorating aroma of fresh wood shavings and a subtle hint of resin. Your gaze settles upon a small, carefully chosen block of deep, red-brown wood resting on a felt-lined section of your workbench. This is a piece of aged rosewood, destined to become a violin bridge, a crucial component in the instrument's voice. You approach the workbench, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the aged oak beneath your hands as you lean slightly. With a deliberate, unhurried motion, you reach for the small block of rosewood. It feels surprisingly dense and solid in your fingers, its weight a comforting presence. The wood is cool and dry to the touch, its surface finely sawn, revealing the raw, unadorned beauty of its natural state. The subtle scent of rosewood, a rich, slightly sweet and earthy aroma, rises gently as you turn the block in your hands. You bring the rosewood closer to the light, allowing the full intensity of the morning sun to fall upon its surface. Your eyes begin to trace the intricate, swirling patterns of its grain. It is a complex tapestry of deep reds, rich browns, and almost black lines, flowing and interlocking with an organic artistry. Each ripple, each minute variation in color and texture, tells a silent story of the tree's growth, its long life in a distant forest. The light catches the natural oils within the wood, giving it a subtle, inherent luster, even in its raw state. You run your thumb, very gently, along the sawn surface, feeling the subtle, almost imperceptible ridges of the grain. The wood is incredibly smooth, yet with a minute, tactile resistance that speaks of its density and fine texture. The cool, firm presence of the rosewood feels substantial, a testament to its strength and stability. You visualize the delicate, precise shaping that this block will undergo, the intricate curves, the graceful arches, the tiny, perfectly cut feet that will one day transmit the vibrations of the strings to the violin's soundboard. The air around the rosewood feels profoundly still, holding the quiet promise of future sound, a silent, waiting potential. You continue to turn the block slowly in your hands, observing the way the light plays across its intricate surface, revealing new depths and nuances in its grain with every subtle movement. The subtle, sweet scent of the rosewood seems to deepen, a grounding aroma that connects you to the natural world. The fine, dense grain, a marvel of natural engineering, holds the promise of a bridge that will transmit sound with exceptional clarity and warmth, a crucial link in the instrument's voice. The intricate grain of the rosewood, still vivid in your mind's eye, now rests quietly on your workbench as the full day's light gives way to the gentle hues of evening. You place the dense block of wood back onto its felt-lined surface, its cool, smooth presence, a quiet anchor in the diminishing light of the atelier. A subtle coolness in the air, a whisper from the encroaching night, now guides your steps away from the purposeful quiet of the workshop. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards as you move from the workbench, leaving the faint, clean scent of wood shavings behind. You pass through a familiar arched doorway, stepping onto the cooler, smoother marble of the main hall. The sounds of the house, usually a gentle hum of distant activity, are now settling into a deeper quiet, a prelude to the profound stillness of the night. The air here is subtly different, a blend of old stone and the faint aroma of beeswax from polished furniture. You follow the soft, inviting glow of a distant candelabra, its beeswax flame casting long, dancing shadows along the rich damask wallpaper. The air in this section of the house is noticeably warmer, infused with the delicate, sweet fragrance of smoldering oak from a low-burning fire in the elegant marble hearth. You push open a heavy paneled door, crafted from dark, rich walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the tranquil embrace of your private sitting room. A deep, velvet-upholstered armchair awaits, its plush cushions, a welcoming sight in the soft firelight. As you settle into its embrace, the soft velvet yielding with a gentle sigh beneath your weight, you feel its cool, smooth texture against your skin. You notice, draped casually yet elegantly over one arm of the chair, a thick, finely woven wool blanket. Its rich, deep forest green color, a familiar comfort, contrasts beautifully with the burgundy velvet of the chair, catching the flickering glow of the firelight with a muted, subtle sheen. You reach out, your fingers making first contact with the blanket's surface. The wool feels immediately warm, soft, and slightly coarse to the touch, a comforting texture that speaks of natural fibers and skilled weaving. With a slow, unhurried motion, you draw the blanket gently over your lap, allowing its generous weight to settle across your legs. The fine, resilient fibers whisper softly against your trousers as the heavy fabric drapes itself around you, enclosing you in a cocoon of warmth and security. Each fold settles with a soft, almost imperceptible rustle, contributing to the quietude. The subtle, clean scent of the wool, earthy and faintly lanolin-rich, mingles harmoniously with the delicate, sweet perfume of dried lavender from a ceramic bowl on the mantelpiece, and the ever-present, grounding aroma of the low-burning oak fire. The rhythmic, gentle crackle of the flames, a soft, unobtrusive sound, fills the quiet room, a steady pulse in the gathering stillness. The warmth from the blanket slowly permeates your legs, a deep, pervasive comfort that encourages profound relaxation. You feel the cool, polished wood of the armchair's armrest beneath your hand, a grounding contrast to the enveloping softness of the wool. The comforting weight of the wool blanket, now fully settled around you, brings a profound sense of peace. The soft, rhythmic crackle of the fire and the gentle warmth create a perfect sanctuary in the quiet room, inviting a deeper, unhurried rest as the evening outside descends into full night. The subtle scent of oak smoke and lavender drifts, a soothing presence. Character count, 3,450. The comforting warmth of the wool blanket draped over your lap in the armchair slowly begins to recede as the gentle crackle of the fire in the marble hearth settles into a profound stillness. The subtle scent of oak smoke and dried lavender, which filled your private sitting room, now gently dissipates, replaced by the cool, crisp air of the late evening. A quiet, internal shift draws you from this deep repose towards a more focused, yet equally tranquil, task. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished marble floor as you rise, leaving the velvet embrace of the armchair behind. You move with unhurried grace through the dimly lit gallery, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The sounds of the house are now entirely muted, a deep, pervasive quiet settling around you. You push open a heavy paneled door, crafted from dark, rich walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your private study. The air here is subtly different. A comforting blend of aged leather, venerable paper, and the deep, earthy scent of polished mahogany and cedar. At the center of the room, a grand, meticulously organized mahogany desk stands, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster under the soft, focused beam of a brass desk lamp. The lamp's emerald green shade diffuses the light into a warm, inviting pool, pushing back the encroaching shadows of the deep evening. You settle into a high-backed, leather-upholstered chair, its deep, plush cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, embracing you in its familiar comfort. The rich, dark leather, cool and smooth, offers a steady, grounding presence. Before you, resting open on a small, velvet-lined stand, is your workshop ledger. Its thick, creamy pages, bound in rich, dark leather, lie perfectly flat, ready to receive the precise details of your day's work. The subtle scent of old paper, dry and slightly sweet, rises gently from the open pages, mingling with the faint aroma of beeswax from the desk polish. You reach out, your fingers lightly touching the smooth, heavy paper, feeling its fine, almost fibrous texture, a tangible connection to the meticulous records within. You then reach for a finely crafted quill pen, its long, slender feather cool and smooth beneath your fingertips. The delicate barbs of the feather whisper softly against your skin as you lift it from its silver stand. Beside it, a small, heavy crystal inkwell, its faceted surface gleaming faintly in the lamplight, holds a pool of deep, rich iron gall ink. With a precise, unhurried motion, you dip the tip of the quill into the dark liquid. A soft, almost imperceptible plink can be heard as the quill touches the glass, and the fine tip absorbs the ink, its dark sheen now ready for its task. Your gaze returns to the open ledger, specifically to a blank section on the page, waiting for the measurements of the spruce soundboard and the rosewood bridge you contemplated earlier in the day. You mentally recall the precise dimensions, the subtle nuances of each piece of wood, translating the tactile experience into numerical form. The air around the desk feels profoundly still, holding only the soft, steady glow of the lamp and the subtle scent of ink. With a deep, unhurried breath, you bring the inked quill to the page. The tip makes first, delicate contact with the creamy paper, and a soft, rhythmic scratch-scratch begins. It is a precise, gentle sound, a whisper of ink flowing onto paper, a quiet melody of record-keeping. Each stroke of the quill is deliberate, forming elegant, precise numbers and letters within the ruled columns. The faint, earthy scent of the iron gall ink, slightly metallic, rises subtly as it dries on the page, a quiet mark of permanence. You watch as the dark ink flows smoothly, leaving a clean, clear trail, a testament to the quality of the quill and the steady control of your hand. The soft, consistent scratch of your quill pen against the creamy pages of the ledger, which filled the quiet study moments ago, now gently ceases. The precise measurements for the spruce soundboard and rosewood bridge are meticulously recorded, a testament to the day's thoughtful work. You carefully cap the crystal inkwell, its faceted surface gleaming faintly in the lamp's soft glow, and place the quill back on its silver stand with a faint, delicate clink. The subtle scent of iron gall ink, dry and earthy, lingers in the air. You rise from the deep, leather-upholstered armchair, its plush cushions yielding with a soft, almost imperceptible sigh beneath your weight. Your kid-leather slippers make a hushed, rhythmic brush against the thick, patterned rug as you move to extinguish the brass desk lamp. The emerald green shade, warm to the touch, releases a last, fading pool of light, plunging the immediate area into deeper shadow, leaving only the distant glow of a single candelabra in the main study. Moving with unhurried grace, you pass through the silent library, the rows of leather-bound books, standing as quiet sentinels in the deepening night. The cool, smooth marble of the main hallway is a familiar path beneath your feet, leading you towards the heart of your house. The air here is subtly cooler, infused with the faint, clean scent of polished stone and beeswax. The distant sounds of the city are entirely muted, a profound and pervasive quiet settling around you. You approach the heavy oak door of your main workshop, its dark, aged wood cool beneath your hand. The door yields with a soft, deep sigh as you push it inward, revealing a space transformed by the night. Instead of the warm, purposeful glow of oil lamps, the room is now bathed in the ethereal, silver light of the full moon. It streams in through the tall, arched windows, casting long, fluid shadows across the wide, polished oak floorboards. The air within the workshop feels distinctly cooler, carrying a clean, crisp aroma of aged wood and the subtle, resinous scent of spruce, now heightened in the profound stillness. You step further into the room, your slippers making barely a sound on the smooth wood. Your gaze sweeps across the familiar forms of workbenches, tool racks, and stacks of timber, all now rendered in shades of silver and profound shadow. The long, slender shadows, cast by the upright forms of the workbenches and the tools resting quietly upon them, stretch across the floor, reaching almost to the far wall. These shadows move with an almost imperceptible slowness, shifting subtly as the moon traverses the night sky, their edges soft and diffused, creating an intricate, silent dance of light and dark. A freshly planed spruce soundboard, left carefully on a felt-lined section of the central workbench, catches the moonlight directly. Its pale, fine-grained surface glows with a quiet, inner luminescence, almost translucent in the silver light. The tight, parallel lines of its grain are now accentuated by the moon's cool gleam, appearing as delicate, shimmering threads. You observe the way the fine dust from earlier planing, still clinging to the edges of the workbench, sparkles like a scattering of tiny diamonds in the soft, ethereal glow. The air around this illuminated spruce feels particularly still, holding the silent promise of its future voice. The profound quiet of the workshop, now truly a sanctuary of moonlight and shadows, settles around you, inviting a deeper sense of peace and stillness as the night deepens. The cool, silver light continues its slow, silent journey across the polished floor, a tranquil, ever-present companion in the quietude. Each detail, touched by the moon's soft hand, seems to breathe with a quiet, enduring beauty, preparing for the dawn. The silver light of the moon, which had painted long shadows across your workshop floor moments ago, now gives way, to the first pale blush of dawn. You step from the quietude of the atelier, your kid leather slippers making a soft, rhythmic brush against the cool, polished oak, leaving behind the profound stillness of the night's work. A subtle coolness in the air, a whisper of the awakening world draws you through the hushed passages of your grand house, seeking the tranquil embrace of your secluded garden. You move with unhurried grace through a narrow, arched stone doorway, its ancient surface cool beneath your fingertips. The air immediately shifts, growing perceptibly cooler, carrying a delicate, fresh scent of damp earth and verdant foliage. The path beneath your slippers transitions from polished oak to worn, uneven flagstones, their cool, gritty texture a subtle sensation through the fine leather. Before you, nestled amidst meticulously clipped boxwood hedges, stands the ancient stone fountain, its water already dancing in the nascent light of the early morning. The fountain is a silent sentinel of the garden, its carved marble basin brimming with clear, cool water. The first sound you register is a soft, rhythmic lap, 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 a gentle, ceaseless murmur of water against the aged stone. Each tiny ripple expands outward from the central jet, catching the diffused light, creating an intricate, shifting pattern of silver and shadow on the surface. You watch as the water, clear and cool, rises in a slender, consistent stream from the mouth of a gracefully carved cherub, falling back into the basin with a soft, consistent plink to delicate, liquid percussion. You approach the edge of the fountain, resting your fingertips lightly on the cool, rough-hewn marble of the basin. The stone, worn smooth in places by centuries of touch and weather, feels solid and ancient. Patches of soft green moss cling to the shadowed crevices, their velvety texture a subtle, unexpected contrast to the hard, unyielding stone. The faint, earthy scent of damp stone, mingled with the fresh aroma of the garden's awakening foliage, surrounds you, a grounding presence in the quiet morning. Your gaze lingers on the surface of the water, observing the hypnotic repetition of the small waves. Each miniature crest forms and breaks with an unhurried grace, sending delicate, concentric circles outwards until they gently dissipate against the mossy edge of the basin. The light, still soft and indirect, plays across these expanding ripples, making them shimmer with an almost ethereal quality, a silent ballet of liquid movement. The coolness of the air, subtly moist from the fountain's spray, feels refreshing against your skin. From a distant corner of the garden, a faint, almost imperceptible rustle of leaves drifts through the air, a gentle whisper from the morning breeze. It is a subtle counterpoint to the continuous, soothing sound of the water, a natural harmony in the tranquil space. You close your eyes for a moment, allowing the rhythmic canop to fill your senses, feeling the profound stillness within the garden, a quiet sanctuary from the waking world. The cool, damp air near the fountain seems to cradle you in its embrace, a peaceful presence. The persistent, gentle lapping of the water continues, an unbroken rhythm in the profound calm of the garden. The air, cool and damp, carries the subtle, fresh scent of moss and stone, a tranquil anchor to the unfolding morning. You remain, simply observing, allowing the soft, repetitive sounds and sensations to deepen your sense of quietude. The persistent, gentle lapping of the fountain's water, a continuous, soothing murmur in your secluded garden, slowly begins to recede from your senses as the morning light grows brighter. You turn from the cool, damp embrace of the fountain, your gaze sweeping across the meticulously tended hedges and dewy foliage, feeling a quiet contentment settle over you. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the worn flagstones as you leave the tranquil outdoor space, entering the hushed quiet of the house through a discreet, arched doorway. The air within the house is subtly warmer, carrying the faint, clean scent of polished wood and beeswax from the long, sunlit corridors. The distant, muted sounds of the household beginning its day are barely perceptible, a gentle hum against the profound stillness within these walls. You move with unhurried grace towards your private study, its heavy, paneled door of rich, dark walnut, yielding silently as you push it inward. The room is bathed in the soft, diffused glow of the morning sun, filtering through sheer linen curtains at the tall windows, casting a peaceful, even light across the rows of leather-bound books and polished furniture. You walk towards a small, inlaid cabinet, crafted from exquisite burled walnut, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster. Upon its top, arranged with a quiet artistry, rests a collection of natural curiosities, gathered from country walks and distant travels. There are polished seashells, smooth pieces of driftwood, and a small, carefully curated assortment of river stones. Your gaze settles upon a particular stone, its form perfectly oval, nestling amongst its companions. With a slow, deliberate motion, you reach out, your fingers cool and sensitive, and gently lift the river stone from its velvet-lined hollow. It feels immediately cool against your skin, a profound, refreshing coldness that quickly gives way to a dense, satisfying weight in your palm. The stone is utterly smooth, its surface polished to an almost liquid sheen by countless years of tumbling in river currents. You turn it slowly, allowing your thumb to trace its elegant, unbroken curve, feeling the subtle, almost imperceptible undulations of its natural form. The stone's color is a muted, deep gray, shot through with delicate, almost invisible veins of a lighter silvery hue. As you angle it in the soft morning light, a faint, ethereal shimmer seems to move across its surface, a subtle play of light that speaks of its ancient mineral composition. You notice a tiny, almost microscopic inclusion, a darker speck embedded deep within the stone, a unique mark of its long geological history. The air around the stone feels still, carrying a faint, clean, earthy scent, a whisper of the riverbed from which it came. You continue to turn the stone slowly, allowing its cool, smooth presence to ground you. Its perfect oval shape fits so naturally into the hollow of your palm, a comforting, ergonomic embrace. The weight of it feels substantial, a quiet anchor in the stillness of the room. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the cool, unyielding solidity, imagining the ceaseless flow of water that shaped it, the patient work of nature. The quiet hum of the house, a distant, unobtrusive murmur, only deepens the profound sense of peace. The smooth, cool feel of the river stone, a small piece of enduring nature, rests in your hand, a tranquil reminder of the quiet beauty and simplicity, inviting a deeper, unhurried rest. The cool, smooth feel of the river stone, a grounding presence in your palm, slowly recedes as you gently place it back into its velvet-lined hollow within the burled walnut cabinet. The subtle, earthy scent of the stone and the clean aroma of polished wood linger in the air of your private study. A quiet sense of purpose now guides your steps, drawing you from the serene contemplation of nature's artistry to the intricate details of human craftsmanship. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the thick, patterned rug as you leave the study, moving through the hushed corridors of your grand house. You traverse the sunlit passages, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The distant, muted sounds of the household beginning its day are barely perceptible, a gentle hum against the profound stillness within these walls. You push open a heavy paneled door, crafted from rich, dark walnut, and step into the familiar, purposeful quiet of your main workshop. The workshop is bathed in the clear, steady light of the morning sun, streaming through the tall, arched windows. The air itself feels refreshed, carrying a clean, invigorating aroma of fresh wood shavings and a subtle hint of resin. Your gaze settles upon a small, exquisitely crafted tuning peg, made from dense, dark ebony, resting on a velvet cloth near the edge of your workbench. This peg, destined for a new violin, features a tiny, perfectly inlaid silver dot at its end, a subtle mark of elegance and precision. You approach the workbench, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the aged oak beneath your hands as you lean slightly. With a deliberate, unhurried motion, you reach for the ebony tuning peg. It feels cool and solid in your fingers, its polished surface incredibly smooth, a profound black absorbing the morning light. The subtle scent of ebony, a dry, almost imperceptible earthiness, rises gently as you turn the peg, positioning it carefully between your thumb and forefinger. Your gaze focuses intently on the tiny silver inlay at the end of the peg. It is a perfect, almost microscopic circle, flush with the ebony surface, yet its luster is slightly dulled, a faint haze obscuring its full brilliance. This delicate detail, though small, demands the same meticulous attention as any larger component of the instrument. The air around the peg feels profoundly still, holding the quiet presence of this miniature perfection. From a small velvet-lined drawer within your workbench, you retrieve a minuscule piece of chamois leather, exquisitely soft and pliable. Its light, creamy color contrasts with the dark ebony, and its texture feels like a whisper against your skin. You also select a tiny pot of very fine polishing rouge, its contents a delicate, almost imperceptible pink powder, its scent subtly metallic. With a precise motion, you apply a tiny speck of rouge to the chamois. With utmost care, you bring the prepared chamois to the silver inlay. Your fingers hold the peg steady, and with a series of incredibly small, delicate, circular motions, you begin to polish the silver. The faint shoosh-shoosh-shoosh of the chamois against the metal is barely audible, a soft, rhythmic whisper that speaks of meticulous attention. As you continue, the dull haze on the silver slowly begins to recede, revealing an ever brighter, more luminous gleam. The cool metal warms slightly beneath the gentle friction, and the silver dot begins to truly shine, a tiny beacon of light against the deep ebony. You pause, drawing the chamois away, and slowly turn the peg, allowing the morning light to fall fully upon the polished inlay. The silver now gleams with a pristine, mirror-like brilliance, reflecting the light with exquisite clarity, a perfect, tiny point of light. The subtle, metallic scent of the polishing rouge, now almost entirely dissipated, leaves behind a clean, fresh aroma. The polished silver inlay on the ebony tuning peg, now gleaming with a quiet brilliance, rests gently on its velvet cloth on your workbench. The subtle metallic scent of polishing rouge has faded, leaving only the clean, dry aroma of ebony in the air. A profound quiet settles over the workshop as the morning light begins its slow, imperceptible shift towards midday, inviting a moment of gentle transition. from focused craft to quiet introspection. You carefully place the perfectly polished tuning peg into a small, velvet-lined box, its interior a deep, comforting crimson. The lid closes with a soft, precise click, a delicate sound that barely disturbs the profound stillness of the room. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards as you move from the workbench, leaving behind the purposeful quiet of the atelier. You walk towards a discreet, paneled door, carved from rich, dark walnut, which leads to a more private corner of your grand house. The door yields silently as you push it inward, revealing a small, intimate antechamber, bathed in the soft, diffused light filtering through a high, narrow window. The air here is distinctly cooler and stiller than the main workshop, carrying a subtle, clean scent of polished wood and fine linen. A single, elegant armchair, upholstered in a pale, muted blue silk, stands invitingly in one corner, its cushions plump and undisturbed. On a small, round side table, crafted from gleaming rosewood, rests a small, neatly tied linen sachet. You approach the armchair, its cool silk surface smooth and inviting beneath your fingertips. With an unhurried grace, you settle into its soft embrace, the silk cushions yielding gently beneath your weight, cradling you in luxurious comfort. The faint, almost imperceptible rustle of the silk is the only sound, a delicate whisper in the profound quiet. The air around you feels profoundly still, holding a sense of deep tranquility. Your gaze falls upon the linen sachet on the rosewood table. It is a small, perfectly square pouch crafted from fine, unbleached linen, tied with a simple, delicate silk ribbon. The fabric itself appears slightly plump, filled with its unseen contents, its surface smooth and cool to the touch. You reach out, your fingers making gentle contact with the sachet, feeling its soft, yielding texture, the subtle resistance of the dried botanicals within. As your fingers gently press and release the sachet, a subtle, profound fragrance begins to emanate from the linen. It is the unmistakable scent of dried lavender, a clean, earthy, and slightly sweet aroma that slowly expands into the quiet air around you. The fragrance is at once invigorating and deeply calming, a natural perfume that speaks of sun-drenched fields and peaceful repose. Each gentle press of your fingers releases another delicate wave of this soothing scent, a soft, aromatic whisper. You bring the sachet closer to your face, allowing the full, rich aroma of the lavender to fill your senses. The scent is pure and undiluted, a comforting presence that seems to cleanse and calm the mind. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the gentle fragrance wash over you, feeling the profound stillness of the room and the soft embrace of the silk armchair. The air, now thoroughly infused with the subtle, sweet scent of lavender, feels deeply peaceful. You continue to hold the linen sachet, feeling its soft, yielding weight, its delicate warmth from your touch. The rhythmic, gentle release of the lavender's fragrance, a silent, soothing rhythm, fills the quiet antechamber, inviting a deeper sense of tranquility and unhurried rest. The subtle scent of dried lavender, a natural, calming presence, remains in the air, a gentle anchor to the peaceful moment. The subtle, clean fragrance of dried lavender, which filled the intimate antechamber, slowly begins to recede from your senses as you gently place the linen sachet back onto the polished rosewood table. The cool, smooth silk of the armchair still cradles you, But the growing light of the day now calls for a different kind of quiet attention. You rise from the armchair, your kid leather slippers making a soft, rhythmic brush against the cool, polished marble floor as you move from the antechamber, leaving behind the profound stillness. You traverse the sunlit corridors, the air growing subtly warmer, carrying the faint, clean scent of beeswax from the polished wainscoting. The distant, muted sounds of the household beginning its day are barely perceptible, a gentle hum against the profound stillness within these walls. You push open a heavy, paneled door, crafted from rich, dark walnut, and step into the familiar, purposeful quiet of your main workshop. The workshop is bathed in the clear, steady light of the morning sun, streaming through the tall, arched windows. The air itself feels refreshed, carrying a clean, invigorating aroma of fresh wood shavings and a subtle hint of resin. Your gaze settles upon a dedicated section of your workbench, where a small, meticulously organized cabinet, crafted from light, unvarnished pine, holds your delicate bow-making supplies. This cabinet, with its tiny, precisely fitted drawers, contains the raw materials for the most expressive part of a violin, its bow hair. You approach the workbench, feeling the cool, smooth surface of the aged oak beneath your hands as you lean slightly. With a deliberate, unhurried motion, you pull open one of the small pine drawers. It glides outward with a soft, almost imperceptible whoosh of displaced air, revealing neatly bundled hanks of horsehair. The air that emerges from the drawer carries a faint, clean, almost animalistic scent, subtle and natural, a testament to the raw material's origin. You reach into the drawer, your fingers cool and sensitive, and carefully select a single hank of the finest Mongolian horsehair. It feels incredibly smooth and supple, yet with a surprising resilience, cool to the touch. The strands are pristine, luminous white, catching the morning light with a soft, ethereal gleam. You notice the individual hairs, each one perfectly straight and uniform, bundled together with a delicate thread of silk. The sheer quantity of hairs, tightly bound, creates a pleasing density and weight in your hand. You carry the hank of horsehair to a section of the workbench where a small, dark velvet cloth is spread. With exquisite care, you gently unbind the silk thread, allowing the pristine white hairs to fan out slightly across the dark velvet. The hairs separate with a soft, almost inaudible whisper, a delicate rustle that speaks of their natural springiness. You run your thumb lightly across the fanned-out hairs, feeling their remarkable smoothness, yet also a subtle, almost imperceptible texture that will provide the necessary grip for the rosin. The morning light illuminates each individual strand, making them appear almost translucent, glowing with an inner luminescence. The air around the horsehair feels still, carrying a faint, clean scent that is both natural and refined. You carefully comb through a small section of the hairs with a tiny, fine-toothed ivory comb, its smooth surface cool against the hair. The comb passes through the strands with a soft, delicate, each hair is perfectly aligned and free of any stray particles. This meticulous organization ensures the bow will draw a clear, pure tone. You gather the fanned-out horsehair, gently realigning the strands with a soft, sweeping motion of your palm. The cool, smooth texture of the hair against your skin and the faint, clean scent combine to create a deeply calming sensation. The smooth, supple feel of the fine horsehair, now neatly rebundled and returned to its pine drawer, slowly recedes from your fingertips. The faint, clean scent of the natural fibers lingers in the air of your workshop as the morning light begins its slow, imperceptible shift towards the softer hues of late afternoon. A profound quiet settles over the atelier, inviting a transition from the day's meticulous work to the quiet comfort of evening. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the polished oak floorboards as you move from the workbench, leaving behind the purposeful quiet. You traverse the sunlit passages of your grand house, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The distant, muted sounds of the household are now settling into a deeper quiet, a prelude to the profound stillness of the night. The air here is subtly different, a blend of old stone and the faint aroma of beeswax from polished furniture. You push open a heavy paneled door, crafted from rich, dark walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the tranquil embrace of your private sitting room. The room is bathed in the soft, diffused light of the setting sun, filtering through sheer linen curtains at the tall windows. The slow-burning fire in the elegant marble hearth emits a faint, rhythmic crackle, a comforting backdrop to the profound stillness. The air here is subtly warmer, infused with the delicate, sweet fragrance of smoldering oak and the faint, sweet perfume of dried lavender from a ceramic bowl on the mantelpiece. Your gaze settles upon a particular armchair, its form both elegant and deeply inviting. It is your favorite wooden armchair, crafted from aged dark cherry wood, its surface polished to a deep, warm luster. Over its back, a thick, finely woven wool blanket in a rich, forest green is draped, its familiar presence a promise of comfort. You approach the chair, feeling the cool, smooth wood of its armrest beneath your fingertips. With an unhurried grace, you settle into its embrace, the heavy wool blanket already offering a subtle warmth. As your weight settles, the chair responds with a soft, gentle asterisk creak. It is a familiar sound, a deep, resonant whisper from the aged wood, a sound of comfortable protest and yielding support. The sound is not jarring, but rather a comforting affirmation of its enduring presence, a quiet welcome. The cherrywood frame, worn smooth in places by countless hours of quiet repose, feels solid and reliable beneath your hands. The wool blanket, still draped across your lap, provides an immediate, enveloping warmth, its soft, slightly coarse texture a pleasing contrast to the smooth wood. You lean back slightly, allowing the chair to cradle you, feeling the subtle give and support of its expertly carved back. The rhythmic crackle of the fire continues, a soft, unobtrusive sound that fills the quiet room, a steady pulse in the gathering stillness. The subtle scent of the cherrywood, a faint, sweet, and slightly smoky aroma, mingles harmoniously with the delicate perfume of lavender and oak, creating a rich, grounding bouquet. The chair, a steadfast companion, seems to settle around you, its quiet creak, a gentle sigh of contentment. The profound quiet of the evening settles around you, deepened by the soft, familiar creak of your favorite wooden chair. The warmth of the wool blanket and the gentle crackle of the fire create a perfect sanctuary, inviting a deeper, unhurried rest as the last light fades from the windows. Each subtle sound, each comforting sensation contributes to a profound sense of peace. The soft, familiar asterisk creak asterisk of your favorite wooden chair, which gently welcomed you into the quiet of the evening, has now settled into a profound stillness. The comforting warmth of the wool blanket still drapes across your lap, and the subtle scent of cherry wood and oak smoke lingers in the air of your private sitting room. A quiet sense of anticipation, a readiness for the intricate work that defines your craft, now gently stirs you from this deep repose. Your kid leather slippers make a soft rhythmic brush against the polished marble floor as you rise, leaving the velvet embrace of the armchair behind. You move with unhurried grace through the dimly lit gallery, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The sounds of the house are now entirely muted, a deep, pervasive quiet settling around you. You push open a heavy paneled door, crafted from rich, dark walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your private study. The air here is subtly different, a comforting blend of aged leather, venerable paper, and the deep, earthy scent of polished mahogany and cedar. At the center of the room, a grand, meticulously organized mahogany desk stands, its surface gleaming with a deep, rich luster under the soft, focused beam of a brass desk lamp. The lamp's emerald green shade diffuses the light into a warm, inviting pool, pushing back the encroaching shadows of the deep evening. You settle into a high-backed, leather-upholstered chair, its deep, plush cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, embracing you in its familiar comfort. The rich, dark leather, cool and smooth, offers a steady, grounding presence. Before you, resting flat on the polished mahogany, is a thin, perfectly smooth sheet of unbleached laid paper, its creamy surface pristine and unblemished. Its subtle scent of clean linen and dry cellulose rises gently, mingling with the faint aroma of beeswax from the desk polish. Beside it, a master template for a violin, crafted from thin, aged pearwood, rests quietly. Its smooth, hard surface, worn to a soft sheen by countless tracings, feels cool and solid beneath your fingertips. You reach for the pearwood template, feeling its delicate lightness, yet its underlying rigidity. With a precise, unhurried motion, you carefully align it onto the fresh sheet of paper, ensuring its perfect placement. The template settles with a soft, almost imperceptible box, a delicate whisper of wood against paper, creating a subtle, shallow indentation on the soft surface of the paper. The air around the desk feels profoundly still, holding only the soft, steady glow of the lamp and the subtle scent of paper and aged wood. Next, you select a fine, hard lead pencil, its polished cedar casing cool and smooth between your fingers. The graphite tip, honed to an exquisite point, gleams faintly in the lamplight. With a deep, unhurried breath, you bring the pencil to the edge of the pearwood template. The tip makes first delicate contact with the paper and a soft, rhythmic goodming, goodming, goodmings. It is a precise, gentle sound, a whisper of graphite flowing onto paper, a quiet melody of careful replication. You begin to trace the elegant curve of the violin's lower bout, following the smooth, unyielding edge of the pearwood template with unwavering precision. Your hand moves slowly, deliberately, ensuring a perfect, continuous line. The pencil glides effortlessly, leaving a faint, silvery gray mark on the creamy paper, a ghost of the instrument's future form. The subtle scent of cedar from the pencil casing, fresh and clean, rises gently with each stroke, mingling with the dry aroma of the paper. The rhythmic sound of the pencil continues, a steady, hypnotic cadence in the quiet study, a testament to focused, unhurried artistry. The delicate tracing continues, the soft gust nice of the pencil, a soothing rhythm in the quiet study. The delicate tracing of the violin template onto the fresh sheet of paper has now concluded. The soft shh of your pencil slowly fading into the profound quiet of your private study. You lift the fine, hard lead pencil from the paper its sharp graphite tip now holding a faint sheen of captured light. The elegant outline of the instrument, a silvery gray ghost, lies complete on the pristine surface, a testament to focused precision. The subtle scent of cedar from the pencil casing and the dry aroma of the paper linger in the warm, still air. With unhurried grace, you gently remove the smooth ovoid marble weights from the parchment, their cool, solid presence lifting, with a soft, almost imperceptible thump. You then carefully slide the pearwood template from the fresh sheet, its smooth, aged surface whispering softly against the paper as it disengages. The completed drawing, a silent promise of future music, remains on the polished mahogany desk, bathed in the soft, focused beam of the brass lamp. You lay the pearwood template back onto its designated velvet cloth, its cool, smooth wood resting quietly. You rise slowly from the high-backed, leather-upholstered chair, its deep, plush cushions yielding with a soft, familiar *** beneath your weight, a gentle sigh from the aged wood. Your kid leather slippers make a hushed, rhythmic brush against the thick, patterned rug as you move away from the desk. The air in this part of the study feels subtly cooler as the focused lamplight leaves a warm pool behind. You traverse a short distance to a more intimate corner of the room, where a deep, velvet-covered armchair awaits, positioned near the low-burning fire in the marble hearth. As you approach the armchair, the rhythmic, gentle crackle of the flames becomes more distinct, a comforting backdrop to the profound stillness of the late evening. The air here is noticeably warmer, infused with the delicate, sweet fragrance of smoldering oak and the faint, sweet perfume of dried lavender from a ceramic bowl on the mantelpiece. You settle into the armchair, its rich, dark green velvet cushions yielding with a soft sigh beneath your weight, enveloping you in luxurious comfort. The fabric feels exquisitely soft and cool against your skin, a pleasing tactile sensation. Almost immediately, a soft, almost imperceptible rustle of fine livery announces the discreet presence of an attendant. Without a word, a substantial ceramic mug, its surface a deep, earthy blue, is placed gently onto the small, polished rosewood table beside you. The action is silent, save for the softest, most delicate suanab of ceramic meeting wood, a sound that barely disturbs the quietude. A thin, fragrant wisp of steam rises gracefully from the dark liquid within the mug, carrying the rich, soothing aroma of a warm, spiced cider, a comforting fragrance that gently fills the cool evening air. You reach out, your hands slowly enclosing the ceramic mug. The earthenware feels immediately warm, a deep, pervasive heat radiating from its contents that spreads quickly through your palms and fingertips, a profoundly comforting sensation. The mug surface is smooth, yet with a subtle, almost imperceptible texture, a fine, matte glaze that feels grounding and natural beneath your touch. The weight of the mug, substantial and balanced, settles perfectly into your cradled hands, a quiet anchor in the stillness. You bring the mug closer, allowing the complex, sweet, and slightly spicy aroma of the cider to deepen, filling your senses with its comforting warmth. The delicate steam, now barely visible, still unfurls in tiny, ephemeral wisps, a silent dance above the dark liquid. The low, rhythmic crackle of the fire and the profound quiet of the study create a perfect sanctuary, inviting a deeper, unhurried rest as the evening outside descends into full night. The warmth from the mug permeates your entire being, a soft, internal glow. The comforting warmth of the ceramic mug, which cradled your hands moments ago, slowly recedes as you gently place it back onto the polished rosewood table. The subtle scent of spiced cider, mingled with the earthy aroma of oak smoke, now softly dissipates in the quiet of your private study. A profound sense of peace settles around you, a deep tranquility that invites a final, unhurried turn through the spaces that define your day. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the thick, patterned rug as you rise, leaving the velvet embrace of the armchair behind. You move with unhurried grace through the dimly lit gallery, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The sounds of the house are now entirely muted, a deep, pervasive quiet settling around you, a prelude to the profound stillness of the night. You push open a heavy, paneled door, crafted from dark, rich walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the hushed sanctuary of your main workshop. The workshop is now cloaked in a profound, deep silence, a stillness that feels almost palpable. The last vestiges of twilight have long since faded, and the room is illuminated only by the soft, ethereal glow of a distant, unseen street lamp filtering through the tall, arched windows. The air within is distinctly cool, carrying a clean, crisp aroma of aged wood, a subtle hint of resin, and the faintest, almost imperceptible memory of fresh spruce shavings from the day's quiet creation. No tools are in motion, no voices echo, only the deep, pervasive hush. You step further into the room, your slippers making barely a sound on the wide, polished oak floorboards. Your gaze sweeps across the familiar forms of workbenches, tool racks, and stacks of timber, all now rendered in soft, muted tones of gray and deep shadow. Each object seems to hold its breath, resting in a state of quiet repose. The central workbench, its surface worn smooth by generations of hands, reflects the faint, diffused light with a deep, mellow sheen, a silent testament to countless hours of focused, unhurried work. You approach the workbench, your fingers lightly grazing the cool, smooth surface of the aged oak. The wood feels solid and unyielding beneath your touch, a grounding presence in the profound stillness. A single, perfectly planed spruce soundboard, left carefully on a felt-lined section, lies perfectly flat, its pale, fine-grained surface absorbing the ambient light with a quiet, inner luminescence. Its tight, parallel lines of grain are now barely visible, blending into the muted tones of the evening, a silent promise of future resonance. The air around the workbench feels utterly still, almost frozen in time, holding the quiet presence of the raw materials and the tools that shape them. There is no sound, not even the distant murmur of the city, only the profound, peaceful silence of the workshop, a deep, enveloping quiet that seems to stretch endlessly into the night. The scent of aged wood, dry and clean, fills your senses, a subtle, comforting aroma that speaks of enduring craftsmanship and patient artistry. You stand for a moment longer, simply observing the deep, pervasive stillness, allowing the profound quiet to wash over you, a complete surrender to the tranquility of the space. The workshop, a place of creation and purpose, now rests in a state of perfect, peaceful repose, its silent forms awaiting the dawn. Character count, 3,410. The profound, deep silence of your workshop, a sanctuary after a day of quiet creation, slowly begins to recede from your awareness. The cool, crisp aroma of aged wood and faint resin lingers in the air, But the late hour now calls you towards the ultimate tranquility of your private bedchamber. Your kid leather slippers make a soft, rhythmic brush against the wide, polished oak floorboards as you turn from the workbench, leaving behind the silent tools and slumbering timber, moving towards the hushed corridors of your grand house. You traverse the long, dimly lit passages, the cool, smooth marble beneath your feet, a familiar sensation. The air here is subtly different, a blend of old stone and the faint aroma of beeswax from polished furniture. The sounds of the city are now entirely muted, a deep, pervasive quiet settling around you, a profound stillness that seems to cradle the entire house. You push open a heavy, paneled door, crafted from rich, dark walnut, and it yields silently, revealing the intimate embrace of your private bedchamber. The room is cloaked in a soft, ethereal darkness, illuminated only by the faint, silver glow of the moon, filtering through the sheerest linen undercurtains at the tall windows. A single, small night lamp, its wick turned low by a thoughtful attendant, casts a tiny, warm pool of golden light on a nearby mahogany bedside table. The air within the bedchamber is distinctly warm, imbued with the delicate, clean scent of freshly laundered linen, and a faint, sweet perfume of dried rose petals from a small porcelain bowl. You approach your grand four-poster bed, its heavy velvet drapes now drawn back, revealing the pristine white linen sheets and plump feather pillows. The cool, smooth wood of the bed frame, carved from dark, polished oak, feels solid and comforting beneath your fingertips as you reach out. With an unhurried grace, you gently pull back the heavy linen top sheet and the light wool blanket, their soft fabrics whispering against each other with a delicate, almost inaudible rustle, a sound of invitation. You slip into the bed, feeling the cool, crisp linen sheets first against your bare skin, a refreshing touch that slowly gives way to the subtle warmth of the mattress beneath you. The fine, tightly woven threads of the linen feel incredibly smooth, almost silken, a luxurious embrace against your skin. You feel the soft, yielding plumpness of the feather pillows as you settle your head, their delicate down conforming perfectly to the curve of your neck and head, a soft, enveloping support. A faint, clean scent of laundered linen, mingled with the subtle, earthy aroma of the feathers, rises gently, a familiar comfort. You draw the top sheet and the light wool blanket up to your chin, feeling their gentle weight settle over your body. The wool, soft and breathable, provides a subtle, even warmth, a comforting cocoon against the cool night air. You close your eyes, allowing the profound stillness of the room to wash over you. The faint, silver glow of the moonlight, diffused through the linen, is still barely perceptible through your eyelids, a soft, muted light. Your breathing deepens, slowly becoming more even, more rhythmic, a gentle, internal tide. You feel the subtle rise and fall of your chest, the quiet pulse of your own body, a steady, calming presence. The distant, almost imperceptible sounds of the city, now truly asleep, are mere whispers against the deep quiet. Perhaps a faint, almost inaudible sigh of the wind through the eaves, or the soft, distant creak of an ancient building settling into the night. These sounds are so far away, so diffused, they serve only to deepen the profound sense of peace within your bedchamber. The warmth of the blankets, the softness of the pillows, and the enveloping stillness combine to create a perfect sanctuary, inviting a complete surrender to the deep, unhurried embrace of slumber.